guys, how you doing? Myself, the one that said,
You're going first this week. It's me too, Nico Lurot. How you doing, guys?
how are we doing? How's everyone doing? Are they doing FAB today? That's a small hint.
Oh, yes. Oh, dearie me. How's your week been, my brother?
Honestly, it's the one time I could say hectic as hell. And I mean, it's the one where I'm actually tomorrow morning, if he's watching, he'll know now. I'm going to be talking to my boss and I'll be like, it's like probably normally I give a bit more notice, but I want Friday and Saturday off. I just need some time to me. I just need to just. Whew. But apart from that, it's been good. I overall can't complain. Yeah, interesting because you had put this whole statement out of you'd be surprised how many films you've seen featuring puppets, and there were some that I saw and I was like, I don't want to mention those. And I've gone on this whole crusade of going deep into the puppet world.
So, you've gone full on Indiana Jones for Kermit the Frog. I get you.
Kind of like, but again, like, yeah, we'll get into it when we do. But I was like, there are many Kermit movies. I was like, well, we're gonna have to limit how many of those we watch.
There are many Kermit movies.
There are many. So kind of slowed it down a bit there.
Spoiler: this is not going to be a top 10 of Kermit the Frog.
Come again?
There are some nice little gems, and this is not going to be a top 10 of Kermit the Frog.
No, when I realized it could have been. I'm not going to lie. I saw two. I saw two that I was aware of before. Then I saw many more. I watched one, and that made the list as opposed to the other two because I felt like, well, hey, why not? And
how many movies have you watched this week?
Oh, mate. No, but I do this every week. This is where you're kind of shocked, but like, yeah, I literally. So out of this, there was like about 10 to 12 films or somehow squeezed in. To be fair, 2 are like shorts. 3 of them are kind of short, so they're not too bad, and they've made the list.
Still 9 movies in 1 week, mate. Respect,
bro. You listen to. I love how you said respect. This is a weekly journey because I tried to always like. There was some like top 10 Jim Carrey. Okay, yeah, that was a challenge. But like others, yeah, it's waking up and like just falling asleep. Like, oh yeah, oh, that's earlier than I thought. Catch a movie. It's weird, but this is so it was fun. It was an interesting challenge. There's one actually really my friend. Come again?
Amazon's been my very good friend this week, simply because I've been working like you yourself. I've been having crazy days. Like I don't know what a weekend is anymore. And this isn't an average. This is a fact. Every day this week, because of the fact that I've got 4 different clients at the moment. One of them being the BBC, who are throwing so much fucking work my way that I actually, to balance all of the clients' work out, I'm starting at 7 and finishing at 2 a.m. every day. Yeah. It's been, and I'm not exaggerating. It's been so real talk. The underground has been my friend because I just been like, why aren't you driving the car? I'm like, because I haven't slept. Do you know what it's like behind a wheel when you haven't slept? Like, I'm not taking that risk. I will take the underground. The amount of times I've been on the underground, like watching a movie on my phone on Amazon Prime, which is exactly how you're meant to consume this media, not, and then just woken up like, fuck's the end of the movie, and I've missed my train station. God damn it. That happened like 3 times.
I'm not going to lie. There's about 2 or 3 films I've seen like 98%. I must admit, I went, oh, shit, okay, yeah, all right, now we finished. Like, I'll come back, but I've seen the film. I know where it ranks and what have you. There was one, I think I've seen the end, and I'm sort of like, did I not? Like, I was just, it's weird. Do you know who was actually my friend this week for 2 movies? And I was like, okay, YouTube. Not often that this happens.
Is it now?
They're shorts. So and I tell you what though, I had to search, and it came up for one of them. Like one of them, it was YouTube, but when I searched, I searched for it, but I was determined to find it. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Had a few people join it, bro. It's been. I can't remember the last time I worked this fucking hard. Between doing all of these jobs, between getting this list done, between fucking being a dad and being a husband. I mean, I know Crimea River, world's smallest violin playing and all that.
No, you know what though? It sounds like first world problems, but they're problems nonetheless. This is the way I have to break it down.
Also, between dealing with the emotional baggage of living in the country I'm living in today, because oh my fucking god, the Tories, spineless fucking shit-stained jellyfish, the lot of them. Oh my goodness. I watched that Boris Johnson apology today. This is not going to be a political show, don't worry, but I felt disgusted to live in this country. Disgusted. I was like, this is how America must have felt for the last 4 years. I get it now.
Fuck yeah. Sorry. Bear with,
Yeah. Spoiler.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's one of those. But anyway, you said we had some people there. Let's not digress.
We do have some people. Francis Lalonde's in the house. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thunderbirds are go. Now that did the Thunderbirds movie, by the way?
Come in.
Is there a Thunderbirds movie? Is that a thing?
There were two. There's a live action.
No idea.
Muppet movies. Also,
I forget that. No.
I take it you've got no Jerry Anderson, right?
The fact that I don't know who that is, I'm going to say no.
The guy behind the Thunderbirds.
She should know that. No, I don't have any Thunderbirds.
Right. Okay, there was also Captain Scarlet, but in order to watch it, it was like the 4 first episodes.
This is the voice of the Mysterons.
I've always liked Captain Scarlet, and I just didn't get a chance.
Captain Scarlet was cool.
Episodes, yeah, to make it like that was it for me. When it comes to Jerry, it's Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet, and then the rest, like Joe Knighty, Stingray, have never been my jam. But hey, yeah.
Francis Long goes on to say, hi, AJ, Nico, and the rest. Great to have you here, Francis.
Yeah,
no masks. Deal with it. Hey, AJ, Nico. It's Biffa the Hobbit.
Hey,
Biffa. Now, what is this fab reference I'm not getting?
It's what the Thunderbirds say. Like they'll pass a message on and they'll be like, it's FAB.
It's been so long since I've seen the Thunderbirds.
All right, minor spoiler. Again, that was something I just happened to have caught on.
Bro, awesome. The fact that you're going old school, I love that. Gavin Mann's in the house. What up, Gavin? Good evening, all. Looking forward to a fab episode. Right, so I'm really out of the
FAB.
fucking picture.
Call it FAB because they always say FAB as opposed to fab.
Frank Torres is here. Hello, friends. Hope you're well. What are your thoughts on the new trailer? Loved it. Let's talk about Thor for a moment. This smells of Taika Waititi, doesn't it?
Doesn't it just?
Yeah, you smell it. Why shouldn't it be? You smell it, bro. You smell like the whiff of Taika? Yeah, right here, you know, in a big circle.
Smell it, and we've got Frank there. What did you think of that episode of Young Rock? That little spoiler that they've dropped there.
That was planned.
Acknowledge me. I was cracking up. I thought
that was planned, and that's only big enough to happen at WrestleMania. That was planned. That's not a coincidence. No. And I'm going to say it again. Book tickets now.
But yeah, going back to 4 because it's not a ministry episode. I was gassed. I was really happy with what I saw. As you said, you could. Yeah, it's got Taika all over it. Yeah, it's got Taika all over it.
I love hitting
it's Thor and the Guardian, which was that little bit of magic, and to see it's being expanded on. I think it's awesome. The fact that we heard that Jane is going to take over and there's going to be a female Thor. You're like, you know, it's mixed emotions, but I'm glad that Chris is still getting his movie, and then whatever happens. So, yeah.
It held off on showing me the thing I'm most excited for, though.
Being
fucking Gore the God Butcher, Christian Bale.
Okay, yeah. Well, fair enough. You're
I cannot wait to see Gore the God Butcher. And now my mind's going in all sorts of weird places. It's like, so Moon Knight on Disney Plus at the moment is finishing like a few days before Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Literally, the last episode airs like 5 days before Doctor Strange 2 comes out. And in Moon Knight, we have gods. And in the upcoming Thor movie, we have a character called the God Butcher. I'm like, it's all tied in. I'm making connections where there probably aren't any. But like,
it's weird because they kind of do and they kind of don't they?
I'm very excited to see the end of this little mini multiverse saga. Not because I haven't enjoyed it, but because I know that this is now going to set up Phase 4 properly. And I'm really excited to see what Phase 4 delivers.
I'm intrigued. I just want to know how many people are going to stay on the bandwagon.
A lot.
We'll see.
A lot. If they stop making those shitty Disney Plus shows and make it the sort of WandaVision and Moon Knight level, we don't have a problem. Any more Hawkeyes, there may be a problem.
We shall see. We shall see. The world is.
Bifford the Hobbit says, I saw 10 movies. The best was KGF2. KGF2. Okay, help. Fill in the abbreviation. Biffer, what is KGF2?
I wish I knew.
Francis Lawrence says, so next week is Nick Cage top bottom 10?
No.
I mean,
no.
The unbearable, what was it? The unbearable weight of massive talent. It is coming out. I would love to do Nick Cage. It is a request by Jackie, but there's too much studying involved.
Yeah. That's just the real of it. That is just the real of it. Like, I mean, I've done 10 here, but I don't know. We'll see.
It's a lot of movies. I have a few for next week. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I think we've got a few there, but yeah.
We've got a few, and then we can put them to the audience to decide, maybe.
Yeah.
At the end of the show. Yeah? Gavin Mann says, I thought I Thor, a pretty cat. Very good. Nicely done. Francis Lon says, Shin Ultra Trails. Very niche for fighting that, Francis. Very niche for knowing about that. Gavin Mann says, at AJ, the BBC, when is Claudia Winkleman making a guest appearance on the show? So first off, me, attention on this guy. Like, I'm working for the BBC at the moment. You're not going to leave this. I'm not allowed to name drop officially, yeah? You know who one of my best friends, my new best friends is? Don't worry, you're still my bro.
I was going to say that. Don't get off. Yeah,
no. One of my new best buddies who just went, hence the voice today. I went to the Chelsea Crystal Palace game at Wembley this last weekend. He just happens to be the showrunner for The Witcher, one of the producers of The Witcher, and also of Queen's Gambit. And I've told him about the podcast, and he's not just one of these money boy producers that he loves movies. I'm just gonna say, watch this space.
Okay.
Watch this space. And Gavin Mann rightfully says Boris has a few hundred puppets behind him. Yes.
I was gonna draw a reference to that as well, actually. So well played, Gavin. Beat me to it.
Cunt puppets. Your brother's in the house, Nathan Jordan. Too sweet, my bro. What up? Francis Leon says there is a relatively recent film, but I'm referring to the compilation film of the Jerry Anderson series. AJ, that one's going to be on you.
Interesting. I'd be interested because I heard they're in the same universe, just didn't see much.
Gavin Mann says, saw Jerry Anderson at Planet Hollywood, London in 2001. He just happened to be there with his puppets. No idea what for. I'll need to dig out the photo. That's actually awesome.
That's mega cool. And that's also heartbreaking for me because the one time I was going to go to Planet Hollywood, I missed that place. So many opportunities. The one time I take my girlfriend around the corner, they shut down for good. So never actually got to go to Planet Hollywood. Sucks for me.
You never went Planet Hollywood?
Not once.
Oh, it was fun, you know.
Times.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
So done Hard Rock. I've done both.
Here's a little brush with the stars. Do you know who I ran into while we were doing the shoot for the BBC? At the Barbican Centre, in far away from where I live. Jax from Top Boy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
She's not very wagwan in real life. I tell you that.
No. I've seen the other side of Jax, but that's
there's no wagwan, bro. There's none of that. She's very well spoken. I was like, wow, that makes you an even better actress. Sorry, actor.
I still use the first. Sorry.
Your brother showing some love. Hope we've all liked this vid so far. Yes, please. For those of you here, please remember like the video. Help YouTube love us. Also, speaking of which, if you do want to see some more of our content, I do have in the description below, whether you're part of the VOD Squad, Live Squad, or Pod Squad, I have my link for my review for The Northman. I gave it 2 thumbs way up. Not for everyone, though. It is not for everyone. Frank Torres says, I thought it was awesome. I'm disappointed I didn't figure out before the graphic came up. I know what you're referring to. Gavin Mann says, speaking of new films trailers, is there much love for Everything Everywhere All at Once with the silver screen dudes? It's getting absolutely mental ratings and reviews so far, but doesn't get released here till May. There's absolutely love for it. From what I've heard, it's supposed to be the best film of the year so far. So I am dying to see Everything Everywhere All at Once, but for some reason we're being fucked in the Hershey Highway when it comes to this release. I don't know why it's releasing so late here, but
So many stuff are that way. So many stuff are that way. Some stuff that are considered 2022, 2021 in some regions and countries are 2022 for us. It's just what it is. It sucks. It sucks.
Biffy the Hobbit says Piers Morgan, also a cunt.
Yeah, he's a funny one. I'll tell you why he's a funny one, because I've watched a few bits with him and I didn't used to disagree with him. Then he just turned into this spoiled little bitch. That I know some people say he always was, but I just felt like it got worse and worse.
He's got such a bee in his bonnet about things that just don't matter. Because the thing I like about him is that on the one side, when that whole J.K. Rowling situation was going on, he was the one reporter who actually had the balls to say, so here's the book, here's the script, here's the passage which you're all angry about. At no point does she reference a transgender character. It's a transvestite. It's a different thing. He was the only one who had the balls to say that. But then the next day, he's saying how it's the worst case of emasculation when men carry their baby in a papoose. And I was like, mate, you're a cock. Because I'll fuck Piers Morgan up with my eyes closed. That's just real. And if he wants to say I'm not a man because I carry my daughter around in a papoose, I'll tell you what, Piers, I'll fuck you up while carrying my daughter around in a papoose. And AJ knows I can do it.
I have no dispute with that. But yeah, it was that whole Meghan thing, actually. And I'm not getting into the royals because, hey, we're 16 minutes in. But he did just sound like a man who was just very bitter he got turned down. And yeah, anyway, we digress. But,
Frank Torres has got a question for us here just before we kick off. Question for you two. Have you ever gone to a movie theater to watch a concert, boxing match, etc.? Did you enjoy it? No,
never done it. Never done it. I'm aware of it happening. I've just never been the thing I've done. It doesn't feel right to me somehow. Like if I really wanted to be part of something, again, it's weird. Like it would have to be something I'm really into and just couldn't make it there. And I'm amongst people who I know we're going to enjoy it. That's the only. But there isn't anything I think that's out there. I mean, maybe if they put a Mania on a screen and I couldn't make it to one.
Yeah.
No, but that's the only thing.
I would do this.
Yeah, but even now, I've never been to like a sports bar to do it. Do you know what I mean? So it's weird. But if you have, Frank, let us know what the experience was like. It'd be interesting to know.
What is that fucking noise? That is my daughter's. Yeah, guys, I apologize in advance. Mummy, for another 8 minutes, is still doing a job interview, and I'm on baby duty. She is currently out cold, and I've got her on the baby monitor. Don't worry. But if for some reason she does decide to let me know that she's alive by crying, the camera will be shut, and AJ will be running the show for a few minutes. Father of the year right here. Bring on the filthy. Right. 80 minutes in. Let's get into this bad boy.
Right. Okay, so before we do, would you like to tell everyone what the Movie Mount Rushmore was all about?
Yes, I would. It's basically a top 10 show between two best friends from school. Should we start? This is how the show works. AJ and I each get assigned a topic. We go our separate ways. We come right back here into recording, deliver to you, the Silver Screen Dudes, our individual top 10s. This week, AJ will go first, delivering his bottom three. I will then deliver my bottom three. AJ will deliver his next two. I will deliver my next two, and then we will trade one apiece. If at any time while we are running off our individual top 10 lists, one person has a movie in a high position, that person will say,
punt.
We will punt and talk about that movie when we get to the high position. Once we have both rounded off our individual top 10 lists, we will create the Movie Mount Rushmore. These are the four quintessential, diverse, must-see movies of the genre, which this week is...
Top 10 puppet movies, or movies with a puppet. Yeah, top 10 movies
both,
with a puppet.
Both are good.
Yeah. Okay, however, guys, very quickly, what happens after we create our top four is it gets over to you, because we have a challenge, but the challenge gets even bigger for you, because while we crown the top four, you have the challenge to crown the best of the best of the best, El Capitan, El Numero Uno, the must-see movie of that specific genre. Last week, our topic was...
1 second, please. Sorry, because I'm having to... No, because I'm literally having to do this on my fucking computer. Normally I do it on my phone, but my phone's doubling up as my baby monitor at the moment. Last week our topic was the top 10 con movies.
And our contenders were?
Our contenders were Catch Me If You Can, The Sting, Ocean's 11, and Matchstick Men. I'd like to just put out a small disclaimer, guys, that JT will not be hosting polls for the coming days, weeks. Just give the guy a chance to recover, come back to full strength before he gets back into the social media game. So the polls will continue just to be hosted by us. So it'd be really good because we obviously don't have the poll following that he does, just to get the numbers up. If you guys could please get sharing and caring and retweeting on Twitter. Our contenders were Catch Me If You Can, The Sting, Ocean's 11, and Matchstick Men. AJ, who came in at number 4?
With those contenders, sadly, I believe it's Matchstick Men.
You're damn right, 4%.
Fuck off. That
Coach
really
Carter territory.
That's terrible.
Yes.
You have a chance to see it yet? No, I suppose you can't find it anywhere.
No.
It's just actual fact. Even I couldn't find it to rewatch. No, if I didn't have the DVD, wouldn't know where to find it, and I was looking for you as well. This is a tough one.
Number 3.
The Sting.
No, sir.
Ocean's 11.
Yes, sir. 25%.
Okay. 2 strong contenders here.
Mm-hmm.
Catch Me If You Can.
No, sir.
Fuck it, no. Okay, cool.
The Sting came in at number 2 with 33%, and Catch Me If You Can topped it off with 37%. Which I have to say I am happy about, given that we said last week it's a criminally underappreciated and under-talked about movie. Like,
I feel that way about...
Can's fucking great.
I feel that way about Matchstick Men even more now, but we won't get into that. But yeah. Yeah, cool. Awesome.
And guys, just as a reminder, before we do get into it, remember, it doesn't matter if you're joining us live, if you're watching us afterwards, if you are one of the VOD squad, the video on demand guys who don't have a chance to watch us live, please do comment down below with the hashtag VOD squad, and I will be responding to you. I want to make you guys feel like you're part of the show too, even when you can't join us live. And if you happen to be part of the pod squad, well, you can jump on YouTube and join the VOD squad, because I can't really do much about commenting on the pod squad. But speaking of the pod squad, if you do not want to watch us live and you just want to listen to us, maybe you're maybe you're at the gym, maybe you're on your way to work, whatever, and you just want to listen to the 2 British idiots talking about movies, you can find us on
Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Tuner, Stitching, Geo7, and all you have to search for is Movie Mount Rushmore.
That is the one. And guys, if you do happen to like our weekly content, because we do our best to never miss a beat, never miss a week, you can head on over to buymeacoffee.com/the movie dudes, and literally for less than the price of your daily Starbucks, it is literally less than that, you can show the channel some support. The link to that is down below in the description. Right. All done.
Right. Okay, cool. Right. You said I'm first?
You are indeed, sir.
Okay, let's not waste any time. I probably wouldn't make your list. Don't know if you watched it, then if you hated it. I'm going with Melissa McCarthy in Happy Time Murders.
So I heard about this and I never got around to watching it. I've heard it's like adult Muppets.
It's adult Muppets. I mean, there was something else that was adult Muppets, but we'll talk about that a bit later on. But it was also, I found it a bit like the Muppet version of
American Pie.
No. Muppet and adult version of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where you've got like the person who's kind of got a bit of a beef with Muppets. So basically, Melissa McCarthy and this Muppet gentleman here, whose name I can't remember, were actually partners. They were partners. They were both in the police force. They were partners going around solving crimes. And the puppet, I kept saying Muppet, the puppet went for a shot and missed. And from then, she got him taken off the force, and it was like a thing now that puppets can't join the police force because puppets don't shoot puppets. He actually missed the shot. That's what happened. And what has now happened is, if you were to take your Sesame Street type characters, these main stars from this puppet series called Happy Time have all been gradually knocked off. One of them, the second one being the puppet's brother. So he's now being brought in, first of all, as a consultant into the discovery of trying to find out who's murdered his brother. And that's why I would liken it to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because that whole trying to unsolve someone who's got a bit of a beef in their bonnet with puppets working with him. But I actually had I had some crazy laughs out of it, if I'm honest. I know the review. I'll be honest. Most things about this film have been quite negative. I know. They have been negative. I even looked at the Rotten Tomatoes and I saw like 24%. I was like, do I really want to do this? However,
do you really want to do this?
No, but you know what? I actually had quite a laugh of it. I really did. And I actually think people have been quite harsh with it. it's stupid. It was not like laugh a minute, but when I did laugh, I really did laugh. And then it kind of slowed
We
down.
are
Then
talking puppet movies here, bro. So I think the whole it's stupid.
Exactly. We're talking puppet movies, and I know Melissa McCarthy's not for everyone as well. However, I'm a Melissa McCarthy mark, and yeah, it worked for me. And it's funny because the other half fell asleep. I was kind of not. This is one of those films where I kind of nodded off, picked back up, and she was like, she went to bed. And this morning, actually, on my way back to work, she's like, I really want to finish that movie. So we actually did both have a good time out of it. So as much as I got to finish it, I will be watching it again with her. So it's not going to be the world's greatest movie, but there's a nice little laugh out of it. So yeah.
Not much to add as I haven't seen it. Biffy the Hobbit says, haha, Muppet version of Chinatown. And Frank Torres says, thought happy time because the puppets are so good, but the story was so bad, I couldn't recommend it.
Fair play. As I said, it kind of the story was there. Yeah, I didn't think the story was that bad. I had a good time. I had laughs.
Fair play, bro. In at number 9.
In at number 9, this one is available on YouTube. The Hand.
The fuck,
bro? It's called The Hand, and I think it's called Jinka Ruka. It's called Ruka. Now it's literally a 9-minute. I can't remember how long it is.
You've done yourself a solid here, 9-minute movie, yeah?
Bro, it's not. I think it's actually 18, but it's a film short, but it's actually really worth watching because it's actually you're actually gonna like it, especially on this whole political stance you're on at the moment. It's a political satire movie that was created by I can't remember the gentleman's name or where he was from, and it starts off with this little mannequin puppet type thing that's there, and he builds pots. He just builds pots, and he's got one that he puts his little plant in, and this hand appears, as you can imagine, and it makes a posing sign very similar to this, and it wants the mannequin to create it for him, and the mannequin resists, and all this hand does is create an absolute nightmare for this poor guy. Keeps breaking his pots for the beloved plant that he has, and just keeps breaking into the house from various.
Keep talking, baby calls.
Okay, well, okay, we're at that point. Okay, so Nico's there. It's a black screen on one end. Guys, as I said, it's available on YouTube, and it's just this really interesting story that just shows when you're in your quest for freedom and the man or the hand or the government just keep coming for that attack, how it finally just wears a person down. It was really interesting for me to see this. Short, sweet, quick, pretty easy for a topic such as this, but it was something I found really interesting to go through. It gives you it's the various challenges of where you think you can get away with something, and they just screw you and wear you down until your final day, essentially.
From the stuff I heard at the beginning before logging off, it sounded like my cup of tea. I'm not gonna lie,
bro. I think you'll really appreciate it. You will really appreciate it, honestly. As I said, it just shows it. It was one of these things I thought, am I really going to enjoy this? And the puppeteering, because it is pretty much stop motion, there's a point, minor spoiler, but it's not long, where this mannequin just gives up and actually just hands over itself to the hand, and the strings come on, and it just becomes a puppet slaving away. Oh, mate, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So if you were to look for it, I think it's Ruka, Ruka, The Hand. You could literally look for that, and you'll find it on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, Ruka. That's the one. Give it a shot.
I actually will. I'm actually looking for it now as we speak. What is your number 8?
This came in very, very, very last minute. And again, this was actually more Daily Motion, but YouTube had it as well. But I saw slightly longer.
Oh, Daily Motion.
Yeah, Daily Motion. The advert dwindling machine that it is. This is Superstar, the Karen Carpenter story.
What in the blue fuck are these films you are pulling out?
This one's 45 minutes. So again, pretty short. Not that I didn't watch long ones. You obviously know Karen Carpenter.
Have you just found a load of people doing fucking puppet stop motion online? This is cheating.
No, it's not. This one was actually puppeteering, just using like Barbie dolls. And you're aware of the Karen Carpenter, who Karen Carpenter is, or the Carpenter?
No, sir.
Close to you? Why do birds suddenly appear every time you were near? That song. I'm
The
not going
fuck
to
are you
sing it.
talking about?
All right, you've seen Something About Mary.
Yes.
You know when he pulls up the zipper, that song, that's on?
Oh.
Yeah, this is the family who...
Now I'm thinking about the zipper and I'm in pain.
So what this person has done, and it's on a really cheap budget, and I think sadly the family had banned this movie, but it's available out there. It's banned, but it's available on like both YouTube and Dailymotion.
You are bringing the edutainment this week, my friend. Jesus Christ.
This one I really hesitated on because there was another film I saw that I finally got around to seeing. Do you have any David Bowie in your list?
Labyrinth. No, I do not.
I finally got to see Labyrinth. I was
it's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, I enjoyed Labyrinth, man. It was kind of cool. Labyrinth was going to be my number 10, but then I saw this, and it's basically Karen Carpenter had anorexia, and it's got this within the 45 minutes. It's like a documentary using puppets, which was really cool.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
That's really
now, don't get me
interesting.
wrong, it's on like a uni budget. There were times I found it really, as in you could barely see something, but it was like really dark. So not dark in theme, but dark in lighting. And I was like, yeah, bit of a squint. But they've really just used the motion. It's not the best motion. It's not even like Thunderbirds. You're talking very still motion. Yeah, but they go for it, and I really respected the whole breakdown of how this person's built the surrounding the house and do it. You get a couple of like stock videos and what have you, but it was just that build up of how the Carpenters became the band into what led to her anorexia and leading to her recovery and her untimely death. It was fucking solid, man. Like I was watching it and I was like, the more I watched, and I was literally, as I said, 45 minutes, I stopped another film because I was like, let me just see what this is about. Was more hooked on that, finished it just before this. And I was like, no, it makes an entry. It makes an entry.
Just on the basis of these bottom 3 movies you've selected, I need to go back and watch this one it's aired because this is fascinating what you're pulling here.
Thank you.
Like, color me edutain, my friend. I do not know where the fuck what weird 2 a.m. rabbit hole you went down to find these movies.
You know what it is?
Because I tell you what, when I Googled like puppet movies, none of this came up.
Bro, but I was like films with puppets, and then I got like, I think it was like the BFI who recommended like top 10 films with puppets or something. And to be fair, this and my number 7 came in under it, like in that category. So I was like,
Mr. Connoisseur going to the BFI now, are we? Google's
Listen,
not good enough for you, huh?
It was the first web link on the Google search, but it gave me some little nuggets, man. I'm not gonna lie.
So here's the thing. Jackie G has just joined us. Jackie G, hello. I'm here. I'm working, but I'll be listening to this weird puppet Rushmore on the background. Jackie. So I've been telling Jackie all day, like on Twitter, she's like, I'm not going to be like in my comfort zone with this one. I'm like, don't worry. There are so many puppet movies that people don't think of that are actually great that are going to be on this list. You'll be right at home. And then you pull out this shit.
Do you know what it is? There was this weird mix of, we're just going to go down I bet you didn't know there were puppets in there. Spielberg has some of those, you know. One of our favorite films. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know there was actually puppets involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
Or there was the, well, it really focuses on puppets, and this is the angle we're trying to go down. So that's kind of the route I took.
These are some weird films you've picked, AJ. I'm not gonna lie, I love that did, but wow.
But bro,
and then Gavin Landers said, AJ, question, do we need to be high to see these films?
No. I honestly
look at him all defensive. Like, no, these are sober movies. No, I got this off the BFI.
Exactly, how dare you? The BFI don't do drugs. But, no, they're actually really good ones. I mean, maybe Happy Time Murders, you might need a little, well, not that I did, but I have a weird sense of humor. But those next two, The Hand and Superstar, solid. Like, short but sweet little capsules there.
All right, man, cool. Frank Torres says, AJ, reaching down deep, but I'm going to watch all of these.
Thank you.
And Francis Lalonde says, Nico, it's the music in the asylum in the mouth of madness. Oh, no, not Carpenters too. No Masks. Biffy the Hobbit says, I like AJ movie picks because they are fun movies to watch. How stoned are you at the moment, Biffa?
you know what? Normally
that
they are quite fun.
sentence works well. I like HM movies. They're fun, man.
I do tend to go for the fun ones. This is true. Yeah.
Have you found a comic book movie which is puppets? You have, haven't you?
No.
Okay.
No, not.
If there was ever one which you surely won't be able to find, it's this week.
Do you know what?
You fucking looked, didn't you?
I did look. I was like, Howard the Duck, is it? And I was like, no, it's not. All right, cool. That one.
You actually went. I love the fact that you went. I'm like, I must give them death taxes and AJ talking about comic book movies. Howard the Ducky. Fuck's sake.
Look, it's one of those things where it's kind of, well, it's expected. Let's see if I can do it. But I actually didn't.
Good Lord. Gavin Man says, Nico, having listened to a lot of your episodes, I've devised an anger Rushmore for you. Episode 3, Will Ferrell. Scott Mendelson. That one I'm not getting. Whisper acting. Yes. 3 out of 4 is good. 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
As opposed
Scott
to
Mendelson, I'm not getting that one.
You could go for Rebel Wolf. That would work. That would cheese him right off.
Yeah, fuck Rebel. Fuck Rebel. Tian is here. Hello, guys. Please tell me you've seen the new thought teaser. Of course, Tian. Of course, we've seen the new thought teaser. We discussed at the top of the show, bro. So good. Francis Lalonde says you probably don't need to be high, but it would quite possibly help. Yes.
I mean, guys, we're talking puppet movies. It's not gonna hurt.
Frank Torres says after watching Nico do that, we're gonna have to do a high Rushmore. Yo, I'm down.
I don't fucking down. So it's not gonna happen. I mean, if you want to replace, I could do alcohol and you can do whatever you wish. I don't know how that's gonna help. I don't know how that helps. Actually, Snoop and 50 do it all the time, so probably
it's perfectly allowed in most countries now, mate. So, by the way, I get proper philosophical when I get stoned. So I'm gonna go down some weird, deep fucking rabbit holes with movies that I just shouldn't be doing that. Like, I'm going to tell you about the existence of humanity with something like, you said a perfect one, Howard the Duck.
I can just imagine you doing this on a Tom Cruise movie. So when the man fell onto the taxi, the reaction
yo, check this out. Yo, did you know this, right? So I'm so up for doing a high Rushmore. I don't know if that would do good or bad for the channel, though, but I'm definitely up for it. Jackie G says, puppet movie scared the shit out of me as a kid. Every single one of them. Falcor from Neverending Story gives me nightmares still to this day. That is a good pull, Neverending Story. Love that. Oh, Gavin Mann says, Nico, Scott Mendelson, the film critic. Oh, no, he is a cunt. He is a bona fide cunt. You remember him, AJ? We talked about him ad nauseum. He is a bellend.
Yeah. That is
what a twat. It's bad enough that people are going to these types of movies, and then that's all he fucking reviews. What a putz. What a putz. It's like, don't like the movie, that's fine, but don't hate the audience for liking them and flocking to them, and then you review them. You schnooker.
Yeah, guys like that are just a waste of time.
This guy. Thank you, Gavin. Well remembered. I do dislike Scott Mendelson greatly. You are quite right. So is that over to me now, AJ?
It is indeed.
In at number 10, everyone's seen this one. Gremlins 2.
Well, everyone except me.
What the fuck? You've seen the Barbie puppet movie and you haven't seen Gremlins 2 yet? What the shit? The Barbie documentary, but Gizmo, no, he doesn't get a pass. So
Gizmo got a pass, just not 2.
So, okay, look, here's the thing about Gremlins 1 versus Gremlins 2. In the scope of which is the better movie, Gremlins 1 is definitely the better movie. There's no denying that. But we're talking puppets here. The level of batshit crazy they went to with this movie when it comes to puppetry is awesome. It is awesome.
I had a feeling this was going to be the case because I know from previous. Sorry, that was too loud when pouring.
Sounded like a horse urinating. Carry on.
We will stop for a sec.
Carry on.
While we've talked about
good horsey.
Slow down. Hi, old Silver. Tame boy. But yeah, we were while you have brought Gremlins up before in previous Rushmores.
Yes.
It's always been that. Gremlins 1 is more enjoyable. Number 2, it gets crazy. And I had a feeling you're going to see more Mugwai madness in number 2. However,
bro, it's like the things that they did in Gremlins 2 are so out there and stupid that you just think, what compelled you to do that? But in the scope of talking about a top 10 about puppets, this is so fucking perfect. Because, like, I don't want to spoil it because you might actually watch it one day, but
I will do.
Bro, there's a gremlin with salad leaf ears. I'm like, what did you do? There's a gargoyle gremlin. Like, what the fuck are we doing? There's a spider gremlin. Like, the lower body is spider and the upper body is like this fucking centaur-like gremlin. It's brilliant, bro. It is absolutely brilliant. I mean, is it a good film? Absolutely not. But the puppetry ideas in Gremlins 2 are off the chain. So good. And Gavin Mann says, Nico, feel like I've thrown cesium into acid. Yes. Fuck Scott Mendelsohn. Fuck him. Francis, I'm with you. Had totally forgotten Neverending Story. Jackie G says, Francis, Howard the Duck is freaking awful. The movie and the puppet. AJ was a puppet.
I heard there was someone who was actually in the costume, so that's why I kind of gave up one. I'm not sure if there was puppetry in between, but yeah, no, I didn't get it confirmed, so I just didn't watch it.
Apparently, it's a puppet. You can switch your list now quickly if you want.
No, based on the film I haven't seen. No, I'm cool. But, yeah.
You haven't seen Howard the Duck?
No,
wow, comic book movie you haven't seen. Oh, right, that's right. No Howard the Duck. Yet you own a copy of The Phantom. Shut up.
I'm not going to break into it, but I also own a copy of Howard the Duck, but we know how. But it's on the list, but I'm not going to rush to it. The Phantom I did see, however, as a kid.
So
Never been a Billy Zane fan, but yeah, had to.
That certainly didn't add to your course. I don't imagine Phantom endeared you more to him. Frank Torres says, forgot about Gremlins 2. And Gavin Mann says, Ego the Puppet in Gremlins 2. Yes. And Frank Torres says, I remember the Hulk Hogan scene in Gremlins 2. Hey, you, brother. They do have Hulk Hogan, I forgot. And John Wayne's in it too. Hey, Pilgrim, get the hell out of my town. And there's a scene where the Gremlins watching Godzilla. It's the old 30s Godzilla where he like picks up a man and eats him. And the Gremlins are like, what? You need to be high to enjoy Gremlins 2. That's a fucking stoner movie if ever there was one. Tien says, came in late to the show, but did anyone mention Labyrinth? Well, Tien, still at my number 10, so you never know. Okay. Hasn't been mentioned yet.
Yeah, hasn't been mentioned yet.
Francis Lawn says, only films I saw under the influence, Space Hunter and Star Wars. Oh, Star Wars Stone. That's a fucking shout.
I sometimes wonder, like, what I'm missing out on not partaking, but it is what it is.
That is a fucking shout. Okay, so yeah, my number 10 was Gremlins, Gremlins 2. My number 9, let's get really weird. My number 9, being John Malkovich.
Did I never seen this film?
It's so fucking. It's such a weird fucking movie. I can't tell you. Everything about it is weird. Like, John Cusack is a puppeteer. That's where the puppet element comes in. He literally makes money by being a puppeteer on the street, right? He's got a girlfriend at home, played by Cameron Diaz, who is so weird. Like, she's this overt animal lover, and they've got like this weird collection of like exotic animals living with them. I mean, shit like lizards and chimpanzees. And you can tell John Cusack's literally he's on autopilot. You know, he's a puppeteer. He's going through life. He fantasizes about a better world, essentially. And he finds this door. And even where he finds the door, it's on a fucking floor that's between, I think, level 9 and 10. So it's like, it's kind of a platform 9 3/4 thing, but it's like level 9 3/4 type thing. And this door, without explaining to you ever how, because the movie's weird, without ever explaining to you how, this door for like, I think it's 15 minutes, puts you into the head of John Malkovich.
It's
you
weird.
see the world through his eyes, and I
know it's not linked, but this new Nick Cage movie kind of reminded me about being John Malkovich, because it's this whole thing of it's a star, just acknowledging a star for who they are in the film. I know they're not linked at all. I'm very much aware of that. But seeing it, I was like, I remember they had this thing about John Malkovich once. Now Nick Cage is in Nick Cage. And that's kind of what it's just, I know it's very loosely linked, but it's the way my mind,
very, like, this unbearable weight of talent looks nothing like that.
No, I'm aware it's completely different.
You do need to see Being John Malkovich, just because, I mean, I think it's Frank here who says, yeah, Malkovich is one of the most bizarre films I've seen. So, and it's fucking weird. Like, it was you can't describe Being John Malkovich. You literally have to see it, because you're asking yourself the whole time. It's like you're gaslighting motherfucker friend. You know, you're asking yourself the question, but why? You're literally saying, but why? Why are we doing this? Why John Malkovich? Why the tunnel? Why the fucking halfway between level 9 and 10? Why a puppeteer? Why the exotic animals? Because movie. Because #reasons.
Fair play.
It just doesn't give you any exposition.
Like the gaslighted one, but why? That's interesting. Tell me more.
That's literally what the movie is. You're looking at it the whole way through going, I'm in because John Malkovich, but why? Like, of all people.
Tell me why.
Yeah.
And if you guys think we're taking the piss, that is his lifestyle. That is I know you know exactly who we're talking about.
Dan.
Spoiler. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. My number 8.
I wish I
will get
around to it one day.
You do. It's a very weird film. Check it out. My number 8, it's a favorite hit for me at least. Good old horror film, The Thing.
This is that film you keep telling me about that I've just not brought myself around to having.
You will love this film, not because it's scary, but because it's so fucking unique. The idea that they are doing a horror movie in the Antarctic in itself for the time was just unheard of. It's awesome. The fact that it's got this kind of ragtag group of borderline A actor, if you take Kurt Russell out of it, but borderline A actor, mostly B actors, but really working well off each other in an ensemble. The fact that you've got this enemy, and this is the genius of the movie, it could literally of them could be the thing. That's what's so brilliant about this alien. It's a shape-shifting mimic motherfucker. It takes the image of anyone. And there's so much great puppetry going on in this movie. Like but it's good puppetry. It's kind of like stop motion, but also puppets and also a little bit of animatronics. But it's so good.
Nice.
You must see the thing, bro. You have to see it. It's one of John Carpenter's greats.
I'll give it a shot. Again, you get it. It's hard to sometimes find the space to do that. So you get this chance, you get this golden gem of I got to finally see it, people, and then you can't move on. Yeah. No, I want to. I really want to.
It's very good. Anyway, my bottom 3. Over to you on number 7.
Right. Okay. Are we ready for another one of this? AJ, what the fuck and where the fuck did you find it? It's the last of it. It's the last of it. Dante's Inferno.
Is this based off of the poem Dante's Inferno?
Somewhat. Yes, it is loosely based on it. So what you've got is this guy who,
and it's got fucking James Cromwell in it, like,
and I can never pronounce his name without reading it.
Mulroney.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So he voices Dante, and it's about this guy Dante who wakes up slightly drunk in this weird part of the state. It looks like it's meant to be New York, and he wakes up and he's used to waking up drunk anyway in life. And what's now going through is that he's like, where am I? How did I end up here? And he meets this guy dressed in like a toga and that. And who wrote the? I should really try to remember some of this shit. Who wrote Dante's Inferno?
You're gonna fucking ask me, aren't you? And I'm drawing a blank. Dante's Inferno. It's an Italian poet. I need to Google.
Is it Virgil?
That. No, it's not Virgil.
Yeah.
Is it Virgil?
Yeah, the poet Virgil.
Well done, you, mate.
It's not the poet Virgil. He meets Virgil along the way, but I'm sure. No, it was because I remember him. There's a part where he gets a flashback and he's like, "I remember studying you in school, man." And
Francis Lawrence is Milton. Milton wrote Paradise Lost, not Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, I'm sure it's Virgil because you actually see him with the book, like sleeping in class. I could be wrong, but Virgil then becomes his guide through essentially hell. And what's really cool about
it is Dante. It's Dante. Yeah. Dante Alighieri.
Yeah. So it's based off of that, but it's like novelized, updated, in the modern time kind of thing. Modernized, not right. Yeah. And so this is actually paper animation. All right. So it's really cool. So you kind of see the bounce of it. And he's now going through his own version of hell. And he learns like through the journey, it's all the different areas or the town of hell. So it's like, for the different sins,
the town of hell.
It is. It's like districts, if you would, because there's, it takes all of the different parts. There was a point where I kind of froze because there was these guys in front of a judge was like, "Why are you here?" I downloaded Metallica. It's like, oh. Oh dear. It's like some of the smaller crimes, some of the bigger crimes. They go into gluttony. They go into the whole homosexuality, the whole and these are very loosely. It's not in the way of like, oh my god, sin.
You mean sodomy, not homosexuality?
But they just show homosexuality.
Right. Okay.
They don't break it down into sodomy. There's the part where there's the evil teacher who was really harsh on people, and you see him paying the price. Where it was a swim teacher, now he's fighting for his life while swimming in the ocean. It's really cool the way they just broke these down and make you question bits. I was like, this is mega cool. Again, 45 minutes.
How the fuck did you come across this?
This is the one, and I swear to you, I heard about it, and I was like, paper puppetry. This sounds cool. I need to see it, and I was searching. It actually took me free. It wasn't even through YouTube. I had to go into Google, tap the video a bit, and I think I ended up on page 3. Now, guys, because of that, you might have seen I muted myself a couple of times. I've actually found all Dante's Inferno, Superstar, the Karen Carpenter story, and Ruka, aka The Hand. And I will post those later on in the chat so you guys can have the direct links. So you don't have to.
Big man, fuck that. Put those links in the private chat right now and I'll add them to the video description.
Oh, so you can have it before everyone else.
Right? Okay. Bro, I literally put them in the video description here. Like, if they're on YouTube, they're on YouTube. Right. Okay, let's share them now.
Cool. So this one.
So these mental movies that AJ's found, we're going to drop them in the description down below. Those will be on the podcast as well for the pod squad.
This is Superstar and...
Sorry, could you name them?
Oh, shit, okay. What I'll do is I'll just tell you what they are one by one.
Cool. Number 1 is Bear. Number 2 is Bear. Number 3 is Bear. Very cool. Hey, look, we're even giving you guys movies tonight. Look at that. You need to buy us a coffee now for that shit. Come on.
And they're short, guys. They're short. Like, they're not long. They are not long. Which kind of helped me in going through.
One of the first...
Not that I didn't watch feature length movies as well.
And the first 2 are? I've got The Hand there.
I'm literally writing what they are, and one is... Yeah, but no, it was one of those things that, as much as it being paper animation, which I thought was cool and something to bring into it, I loved the way they told the story of this travel through hell and the different ways and the interpretations. I thought it was mega cool. So I was like, yeah, it has to be like. It's been a while since I've done a bit of edutainment, but it wasn't just for the edutainment of, look what I found. I
slap my tits and call me grandma, mate. You got me this week.
After that, they get very box office-y, and you're like, oh, really? Is that where you're going? But no, those 3 needed a mention. And had they been slightly longer, or I wouldn't say better produced or anything, but yeah, the other ones I just felt like they needed to be mentioned, and hence why they're the bottom 6.
Fair play, mate. Jackie G with an edutainment moment here. I recommend the animation movie Dante's Inferno. It's
that's the thing. There is an animation which is 2010, and I actually stumbled across that first, and I was like, "Well, this isn't puppetry," because I'd heard about this one. It looked awesome, but I didn't get to watch it, Jackie. So I was watching the first few minutes. I was like, "This looks tops." But yeah,
you have gone deep into this, considering how much you were pushing back on doing this list. Like, wow.
But this is the thing. Like, what happens, bro? And this is the truth. There were some that I've got easy draws for. This one I had 1. And we all know who he is. But everything else was like, damn. Like, I've seen TV series of Jerry Anderson, not seen the films. it was a lot of this going on. But we do our homework. We do our homework.
I mean, yes, much better than you did at school.
Yeah, that was a 316 salute. That's great.
You know it's true, bro. I was no better.
I know.
I'm not putting myself on
there's a teacher watching this episode and going, yep, even his best friend knows he didn't do his homework. Yeah. You're damn right, because we were out together, so fuck y'all. But anyway.
Oh, y'all don't like me? Blow me.
That's the one.
Jackie G says Dante's Inferno is based on a series of paintings by Sandro Botticelli. I will need to look this up. Gavin Mann says there genuinely is a place on Earth called Hell, and I'm pretty sure it's in America. Huh. Oh, no jokes. Okay, fine. Scotland has places called California, Moscow, Dull, Lost, and everyone's favorite Twat. There's a place in Scotland called Twat. I must meet a woman from the town of Twat. Twat from the Twat. I must meet this. I'm not saying women are twats, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, genealogy.
There is, funnily enough, there is a place in Poland, right on the northern tip of Poland by Dansk. There is a peninsula called the Hell Peninsula.
Yeah.
Tiny little strip of land goes right out into sea.
But
I've dived there.
Legitimately, this is the daredevil in me talking. Not me, but like the common knowledge. There is Hell's Kitchen. That is legitimately a thing. Hell is somewhere mentioned in the States somewhere, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure that Hell's Kitchen is reference to Gordon Ramsay being the head chef, bro.
Okay, so you would quote Gordon Ramsay before any reference of Daredevil saying he's from Hell's Kitchen.
But Hell's Kitchen's a real place in New York.
But this is what I'm saying. Yeah,
Sorry,
we're just talking about real life places. How the fuck did you bring up Gordon? Like,
I thought
where
you
are
were
you going with this?
Bro, 2 a.m. finishes every day.
Okay.
I'm tired.
I agree. Hell's Kitchen is an awesome series that I do catch in most.
It is awesome. It is awesome. I would like to do the blind taste test with Gordon. I think I'd smash that shit.
Nice. There were just so many meals out there that I'm like, I just want to go to the restaurant once to just try, because I hear him every episode, every series. And I'm like,
well, you know, his maître d', Jean-Philippe, works in London, right? At his restaurant, Petru. I believe it's in Camden.
Yeah, I'll check.
But yeah, Jean-Philippe is the maître d' there.
I saw a Gordon Ramsay kitchen or something in what's that place at the end of High Street, Kennedy, Holland Park. But it was like a burger joint. So I was like, fuck it.
But they've got one of his burger joints now at the O2.
Oh, nice. Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
Gordon Ramsay street burger.
Oh, nice.
Frank Torres says, all I know about Dante's Inferno is from 7 and the Xbox game. You know it. That game was fire.
Bro, do you know how many times the Xbox game came up while I was doing
I believe it.
Like, the Inferno.
Good fucking game.
This is a video game. Yeah.
Good game. Really good game.
What is PSP as well? So
it is.
Not that I have a PSP, but yeah, we'll see what we can do.
It's also on PS4 and 3. What is your number 6?
And it's not because of the number. It was actually my 7 till I rejigged.
Get on with it. Come on.
Thunderbirds 6.
Very good.
It honestly wasn't meant to be 6. It was at like number 5 that I rejigged. I was like, oh fuck, it's gonna look like I made Thunderbird 6 number 6. There are 2 Thunderbird movies. There's Thunderbird Go and there's Thunderbird 6, and I watched both. I found
because there were only 5 Thunderbirds, weren't there? So is this like, oh, here's the arrival of a new one, right?
Yeah, this is it. They've actually asked Brains to create a Thunderbird 6. I can't remember the dad's name. Mr. Tracy is like,
what does it do? What's cool about Thunderbird 6?
Oh, this is the whole thing. It's the whole quest to find out the world needs a Thunderbird 6, Brains. You need to create Thunderbird 6. And what the film actually starts with Brains creating this aircraft for the Nationals. I can't remember what it was. And everyone in the room laughing their head off at him. But it turns out that they still used his design. And that's the thing. It's like, well, Mr. Tracy, I'll get an idea over to you pretty soon. And he's like, you don't need to show one to me. And it's like, well, I do, because people laughed at me with the last one. And sorry, these are my best Thunderbird impressions.
Carry on.
And it's like, yes, they laughed at you, Brains, but they still used it. And eventually what happens is Brains still creates these models, but Mr. Tracy keeps denying it. And we now is throughout the film he's trying to develop one, while at the same time what are they called? The Tracy's, what is it, Air International or International Rescue are actually going aboard this plane. And while they're doing that, there's this plot from, I can't remember their main enemy.
I'm having so many flashbacks from my childhood here. The Tracy's, Lady Penelope, International Rescue. Fuck me.
Parker always being the butt end of the jokes and everything. And this is what happens. So they've now sabotaged. There's this part where the main enemy of the Thunderbirds, which I didn't even know they had, if I'm honest, until I watched these films. I can't, but he's like
the guy with the big eyebrows.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Bro, you've even done better than me because I was watching. I was like, oh really? Oh yeah, he was in the most of them, and he's now duped. He's got this thing to dupe Mr. Tracy into a message from Lady Penelope to send Thunderbird 1 and Thunderbird 2 to an abandoned airspace in Casablanca. Yes, in Casablanca. And that's the whole thing. And eventually Thunderbird 6 ends up making the save. Thunderbird 6 is a very basic machine. Everybody's like, oh, okay. So yes, we had Thunderbird 6 under our nose all the time. I just found it more enjoyable than Thunderbirds I'll Go. Thunderbirds I'll Go was just this whole thing. I think Scott's the youngest one, just having a bee in his bonnet that he doesn't get to party with Penelope. And he has this weird dream at one point where he gets to party with Lady Penelope in a place called the Star Lounge. But instead of it being the Star Lounge on Earth, he actually flies off with Penelope to an actual star called the Star Lounge, where, believe it or not, are you ready for it? And I'm not joking. Puppet Cliff Richard performs.
Fuck off.
I swear to you on everything. There's a band, but I don't know who the 60s band are. Francis, because you mentioned Thunderbirds I'll Go, you may know who this is. But yes, we had a puppet, Cliff Richard, perform a song during that film. And I just didn't really enjoy it. At one point, I was like, in my heart, I could never make Thunderbirds a worse because the nostalgia would not permit it. Thunderbirds I'll Go nearly became that. But Thunderbird 6, I had that bit more fun with.
What is your favorite Thunderbird?
I stopped and hesitated, but I do believe my favorite is Thunderbird 4.
The red one?
No, Thunderbird wasn't 4 the submarine.
Hmm?
I'm sure 4 is the submarine.
Okay, Google search time.
4
is the submarine, the little yellow submarine. You're quite right.
Yeah, Thunderbird 2 has always been cool, but it's just a carrier.
2 is the one. 2 is the one. 2 is definitely the one.
It's a carrier. Then I got a bit pissed off with like 1 and 3 because I'm like, they're both just fucking spaceships. And then 5 is just
1 is kind of awesome though. With
it's
those wings.
Awesome. 1 is awesome because you've got it, but then it makes 3 really redundant. That's
3 is completely redundant.
Yeah.
3 can just go more into the stratosphere if I'm not mistaken. 3 is more of a spaceship than an airplane, but like no.
It's like 3 only takes you up to 5. Ooh, woohoo! Like that was my little down thing of Thunderbirds when I watched these movies. I was like,
and 4 is cute. He's had the baby of Thunderbird 2.
Yeah, but that's the cute thing. So I want to say 2, but like I always thought 4 just looked kind of cute and cool. That's why I went for 4.
4 is a good one. Oh, look who's here. Ali Kamza in the house.
Hey,
hello,
Ali,
everyone. Great to have you. Thank you for joining us so late in Iran.
Guys, if you are a Thunderbird fan, what is your favorite Thunderbird?
Yes, please drop your favorite Thunderbird down in the comments below. Well done, AJ. Love that. Jackie G, here's one. Gamers, give me your PSNs. Jackie, typing mine right now.
I am actually looking to get into the world of gaming again, people. Right now, I have a match a night on 2K22 just to keep me happy and sane.
Jackie, I'm just posting mine now. Hit me up. I'm a PS guy, so yeah, we can definitely link up.
I need to double check my spelling on it because I'm actually looking at recreating one, Jackie. But you will get my PSN as soon as it's done. But it will probably be the 1AJ, just without the underscores. So
sadly, Ali says you can't stick around for much. Please do. But please join us
with this comment.
Ali. Go on, what?
Skyrim is the best game ever.
It's certainly a contender.
I'm still on this thing where I'm just waiting for the right price. It's near enough the right price, but I'm just waiting.
What do you mean the right price?
No, I'm talking about thingy. Ghost
of Tsushima.
Yeah, I will buy it. I know my brothers, but I want my own.
That's a fucking game. That's a fucking game. Yeah. That is a fucking game. Biffy the Hobbit says, imagine a podcast with no puns. But the way AJ's going, that's very much on the cards.
Possibly. Possibly. It has happened before, I think.
Ali says, does stop motion count as movies with puppets? No stop motion.
No, yeah,
You can have puppets which do stop motion, but usually stop motion is claymation. There's a very clear distinction between stop motion claymation and stop motion with puppets. And then, if yes, Corpse Bride. See, that's claymation. The Nightmare Before Christmas and Frankenweenie. All fantastic, all claymation. Jackie G says, the Mega Drive feels nostalgic. Don't it just?
So, did you see that post I put in where it showed that the Mac? I said
Don't tell them.
But yeah, okay. I saw one person put it up in Lad Bible where there was these, those Macs with the blue background. Those are now in the Science Museum. I took my girlfriend to the Science Museum after I got my global jab, and it was in the Science Museum, so I was cheekily stuck in there. Jumped the queue, got in. Yep, the Game Boy and Super Nintendo were both in the Science Museum under technology. I'm still crying. I am still crying. It hurts the frick out of me.
Actually crazy. That's actually crazy. Jackie G liked my PSN title, Daddy Goo. You know it. Daddy Goo is the one. Jackie, hit me up. We'll play Fall Guys together. That's how you really either foster lifelong friendships or make enemies. Yeah, Gavin Magno's Daddy Goo. You got it. And Jackie G is telling you, AJ, Ghost of Tsushima is simply amazing. It's so good.
Listen,
and by the way, not hard to platinum.
Nick recommends like that, it's very rare. I disagree, but
not hard to platinum. It could be your venture into my world of platinum hunting.
Listen, there's an episode of Platinum Hunters out there. I know it, and I've already like 22% on 2K22. Bro, this is the thing. I have to talk to you about it anyway. But yeah, that's another thing, guys. The silver screen dudes are a trident.
By the way, I'm 5 trophies away from the platinum in Riders Republic. That'll be platinum number 10.
So anyway, let's not digress because there's
Frank Torres says, I've played Skyrim for the last 7 years and bought it at least 3 times. I understand that. And it's been released about that many too. And I'm trying to get the platinum on Skyrim, but that shit is hard and long. Ugh. And Ali Kamza says, before I go, my favorite movie with a puppet is Neverending Story. I'm sure Jackie's going to love hearing that. That's a great choice, Ali.
I've seen Neverending Story. Girlfriend made me watch it, but I was in a really tired mood, so I didn't get to watch it properly. But it was cool. Actually, no, I did watch it all, but I wanted to watch the rest. I didn't forget about it. But yeah, just missed the list, if I'm honest.
Frank Torres says, Ghost of Tsushima movie is incoming. They're going to need to work hard on that one. Because the one thing that was not great about Ghost of Tsushima was the main character, Jin Sakai. He's not, should we say, he's not the most animated of people. So they're going to need to really do a good character piece on him if they do that. By the way, Jackie, just so you know, I do have my PSN, my PS. Oh, you've added me. Boom. I was about to say, where's my friend request? Jackie, receive request. That is a hard accept.
Listen, I hope for the benefit of your previous statements, the missus has finished her interview.
Yeah, 100%. Jackie's a platinum hunter here too. Jackie, what platinums have you got? Yes, Jackie, you know you're playing A Plague's Tale. Good for you. That is a proper game, that one.
Okay, Ali, just before you go, I am going to acknowledge you. Yes, you'd love to stick around, but barely awake. I understand that it's been a tough week for everyone, apparently. I'll try to catch the next episode. Stay classy. Thank you for the Wolfhard reference.
And Jackie G's got that fucking platinum on Ghost of Tsushima. My girl, that's what I'm talking about.
At Silver Screen Dudes, not sure if on my end or not, but screen appears blurry out of focus.
Definitely your end. We're crystal clear on ours.
It would be one of us otherwise. Yeah. As opposed to both, Frank. So maybe just a refresh. That's that. Here's a question for you, Nick. Question for UK people. Does anyone think that Demi Moore's character in the Beavis and Butthead's 90s film looks like Victoria Coren Mitchell?
And we're Googling Victoria Coren Mitchell. To answer that question.
Yeah, that would be Sorry, guys. Small interval.
Yes, she does. Yes, she absolutely does. That's a hard yes from me,
Yep,
Gavin.
yep. Nice play.
So that was your number 6, AJ?
Yeah. Where were we? Yes, yeah. Thunderbirds 6 at number 6.
Cool. Okay. Well, it's funny because that we've just been talking about games because AJ, I want to play a game. Saw, bro.
Yeah. So yes. I've been going through Saw. This is a good point. Yeah.
The puppet?
Of course.
The fucking death puppet in Saw, bro.
Of course, that was stupid of me, actually. Saw is actually one I blanked on. I forgot about it. Yeah.
Saw's fucking great. Saw is great. It gets progressively gorier and gorier and progressively more and more and more B-movie and stupid. That first movie's good.
Was it 3 I stopped at? That 3 was the one that had me.
I've seen them all. They're fucking great. I love that shit. I love them all. But do you know what? Since we're talking about the world of puppets, I do love the design of the death puppet, the little jigsaw puppet in Saw. So creepy. Them eyes and them cheeks, and I want to play. The bullseye on the cheeks and stuff. It's so unsettling. And where I really like the first Saw movie is that it kind of.
Sorry, I couldn't help but laugh.
Finally, yeah. Hey.
Well played.
Finally,
a movie I actually saw. Well played.
You remember what the marketing was for Saw?
Yeah. Just
will you see Saw?
Yeah. Another good one.
It's so good. Like, do you know what? It makes me sad that Cary Elwes doesn't act anymore. That said, he is about to come back for Guy Ritchie's new film.
Guy's film, isn't it?
But he had like a lot of big movies at one point. You know, you had Dracula, he was in The Jungle Book, he was in why am I blanking? He was in so much. I literally just said he's been in a lot and I've named like 3 films. I'm literally blanking. Help. Cary Elwes, he's been in so much.
Oh, don't, I'm Googling.
Robin Hood, Men in Tights. There you go.
I knew Men in Tights, but I was going to go a bit deeper.
And I still say Robin Hood, Men in Tights has got one of the greatest lines in comedy ever.
And obviously Princess Bride. Do you know, the minute I saw his face, Princess Bride kicked right into my head.
There you go. And the best line, one of the best comedy lines ever, is when he's looking at Prince John and he says, yes, because unlike other Robin Hoods, I have an English accent.
Shots fired.
Best shots fired. The best shots fired. I love that shit. And by the way, it's Elwes, not Yules. Stop pronouncing. I'm not saying anyone here does it, but to people listening in the big world out there, please stop pronouncing his name as Cary Yules. It is Elwes. Elwes. Not Yules. There's no Yules. He's not a fucking log.
Get it out of your system, Nick.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm better now. Frank Torres says the first Saw movie is still solid. It wasn't just gory, but an effective miss due to that ending. That fucking ending. Game over. Oh, so good. Gavin Mann says, yes, Nico, honorable mention for me. Good first film and steadily downhill after that, as you say. The traps are always quite inventive, though. You know the one that stuck with me? I think it was in number 3. The rotating crucifix. The arms that all turned that way until the shoulders and elbows all popped out. I was like, that is one of the most horrible fucking things I've ever seen. Like, it gets to a level where it gets so ridiculous that you just have to be like, I'm just going to watch and suffer, like, and raise the people's eyebrow. Of course, he was in Liar Liar too. Days of Thunder, Liar Liar, Twisted. Thank you. This is what I'm saying. He was such a big star. What happened? And Jackie G says Cary Elwes should come back to comedy. Princess Bride, Hot Shots, classics. Yes, they are. They really, 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 really are. So yeah, Saw was my number 7. Again, sorry about my voice. In at number 6, we're gonna say punt here. America, fuck yeah! Team America, World Police.
There we go. The punt has been done.
The punt has been done. AJ, you're number 5.
Right, in at number 5 for me. It's because I finally got around to seeing it. And he is truly lovable. Good old Gizmo and Gremlins. Yeah, I finally got a chance to watch flipping Gremlins. Like, it's the box has finally been ticked. Now off the bucket list, and it was cool. It's everything that everyone has always said about what.
Idea from Francis. Top 10 cinema deaths.
Did we not do?
No, we've done surprising movie deaths. We've never done top 10 deaths.
Yeah, fair play. It's different.
Fuck you. That's a good one. I'm adding that.
I'm down. Yeah. Even though I think a lot of the surprising ones will. Anyway, doesn't matter. Yeah, everything that everyone has always said about I was going to say Gizmo, but Gremlins is true. It's just that awesome movie. And something you said before is, again, where 2 is probably more the comedy. There is a point where it's really cute in Gizmo, then it gets into a bit of comedy when the other Mogwai turn up. Then it goes into a different kind of horror, isn't it? I was like, wow.
Do you hear what I hear?
Like, I was genuinely not freaked out, but I was like,
nah, they're fucking creepy. They're creepy as fuck.
This was a twist I didn't expect. And, it's not like playful. Because, again, Gremlins is one of those things. Between 1 and 2, has always come on and it's always been partway. And I refused. I always wanted to watch it from the beginning. That's what it was. It's not that I thought it was going to be shit. It was always just from partway and I wanted to see it from the beginning. So I've mainly Gremlins 2. I've always seen bits and I'm like, okay, it looks funny, but I disconnect, not watch it.
It is funny.
This one, I was like, no. So it's not a comedy. That's what I got. That's what I got.
It's a horror comedy, but it definitely leans towards horror.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is interesting. But yeah, no, you gotta love Gizmo. You've got to love Gizmo. He was just sweet.
He's so cute.
He sticks by the rules, and as he gets wet and his face is all disappointed, I was like, but you should be like, why are you sad, Gizmo? It was cool. It was cool.
Because I know what's coming, bitch.
It was a journey I wasn't prepared for in how much I was going to enjoy it. I thought I'd just be like, okay, yeah, cool. Gremlins.
Is this your first time seeing Gremlins?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I
ain't it fucking good?
Yeah. It really was. And it matched expectation. And that's why it got where it got to for me on this. Yeah.
Damn.
Love me a bit of Gremlins.
Man.
That's why I'm like Gremlins 2. I'm on it because I've finally seen Gremlins that I enjoyed.
Enjoy that shit, my friend.
Yeah.
It's not as good, but you will enjoy it.
It'll be crazy fun. It will be crazy fun.
It is crazy fun. You just need a gremlin singing New York, New York. That's all you need in your life.
And I heard it's got John Wayne and
part of it. Yes, John Wayne and Hulk Hogan.
That's even made it more, bro.
So good. So good. My number 5, it's one of my favorites. We're going in the land of the Gelflings and the Skeksis, the Dark Crystal.
I wanted to watch this again.
It's superb. I did watch it again, and it has not fucking missed a beat. This film still holds up. It is what Jim Henson does with puppets, here probably more so than anywhere, is fucking sensational. Because what he's done here is like, unlike with the Muppets, where he's, reappropriated famous stories, Christmas Carol, Treasure Island, this is a completely unique thing. This is built from the ground up. The puppets are purpose-built to inhabit this very dark, foreboding fantasy world they live in. The story is fucking engaging as fuck. You could make the movie of A Dark Crystal without it being puppets. Like, you could give this to Peter Jackson and say, hey, make something big. Make something like The Lord of the Rings. You could do it. The story is of that elk. Not elk. Elk is an animal. Ilk. Story is of that ilk. It quite spectacular. It's classic fantasy. It's good versus evil. It's the hero in a desperate situation with all the odds stacked against him. Unrelenting evil with one of the most terrifying villains ever in the Skeksis. Struggles for power amongst the ranks of the evil ones. Betrayals. Every fucking fantasy trope is in this film, and it's the better for it.
I'll call it as I say, and I'm just being honest. I feel I partially, where I'm not going to say nostalgia leans for you, but you appreciate it that much because you saw that bit young. I watched it, and I wouldn't say I hated it, but I just wasn't connected. Labyrinth, on the other hand, kind of had me a bit more. So I'll leave it there because that was the two films I had a kind of similar comparison to.
Dark Crystal's better than Labyrinth.
For you, I just felt like, and I was like, you know what, I'm maybe not in the right frame of mind. I will rewatch it for this. I refused, and this is the God's honest thing. I refused to have made it my worst because I knew it needed a rewatch from me. As much as I didn't enjoy it when I watched it, as much as I didn't enjoy it when I watched it that first time, and I haven't finished it, I was like, I'm losing focus here. I need to rewatch, and that's why the Dark Crystal is for me. So it's there. I really want to do it because I remember everyone getting mega excited. I have a feeling the series was a flop because no one really talks about it. But
people who stuck through it seem to have loved it. I checked out after 2 episodes.
I have this thing. You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to, right?
Force yourself.
I feel like certain shows, and I say it mainly with US shows, right? You need to get to a certain point before you do it, and it's not within the first 2 episodes. For instance, Suits, I had to wait till I was 6 episodes in, then I was deep. And
shit, everyone's favorite, The Office. The criticism that the US Office gets is that the first season is not good because it's literally just a rehash of the UK Office done less well. Get through season 1 though, and it's like, okay, here we go.
But these are the things, and I think if you give it, even Breaking Bad, I thought it was a bit slow. By the time I got to number 6, not that I finished Breaking Bad, but now I was like, I'm on board. And I always say it when it comes to US shows. Obviously, over here in the UK, our series are 6 episodes, so within 2 episodes, you know if it's for you or if it's not. US ones, I feel you need to give it just a little bit more time because they're really planting the seed of what it is before getting into it. So
you think Breaking Bad is slow? Check out The Wire. That's got some fucking slowness to it, but it's so good. The Wire is the best thing ever. Just saying. Frank Torres says, Dark Crystal, the provider of nightmares for 2 generations. Yes, those fucking Skeksis. The Chamberlain. Yes. So good. Jackie G says, such a scary movie. Clearly, I have issues. No, you don't. It's just scary. You're right on the money with that one, Jackie. Gavin Mann says, I couldn't put the Dark Crystal on. Haven't seen it since I was about 5. Right, so we've got everyone here who's been scarred by this movie. Love it. It's fucking brilliant. Gavin Mann says, early Family Guy was okay to good and got so much better around season 4 and 5. I'd agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. Though my favorite ever episode of Family Guy was from season 2, The Road to Rhode Island. So that was my number 5. AJ, your number 4.
Okay. In at number 4, the obvious. When you talk about puppets, this guy has to be brought up.
Kermit.
Pinocchio.
Funny you say that because that's my number 4.
There we are. Now, it's been a while, and
dark.
I just felt like I've not seen this film in forever, and I watched it, and it felt like fresh eyes. Honestly, I know the story so well, and what I always remember with some Disney films, and I questioned myself with Pinocchio, then I saw some bit. I remember my mum had brought us Disney books, right? Disney, the fairy tale books based off of, and I was like, have I actually seen Pinocchio, or was it just the books, and I knew the story of it through reading it as opposed to watching it? And then a couple of scenes came in, I was like, no, I have seen it. But it was that far back since I've last seen it. It was beautifully refreshing. It's
so dark. It's so dark.
It's got its dark moments, but it's got its cool moments. It is.
Bro, Pleasure Island is fucked up.
It's majorly fucked up.
Monstro the Whale is fucked up.
Okay, you should try to just hit the points. I was more going to the early parts where it's like there were no strings on me and he's just singing.
Oh yeah, because being kidnapped by a fucking Irish gypsy, that's not dark at all, right?
No, it's the performance, but it's just the warm inside, the determination of Geppetto finding him, Jiminy Cricket being that the conscience that he is, and it's dark. I'm just aware there are darker cartoons out there in the world of Disney.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
But it was nice. It was nice to rewatch Pinocchio in legitimately forever.
Let me ask you this, my comic book loving friend. Let's make a comic book reference here, since this is the one you're gonna get. Are you able now to go back and watch Pinocchio and hear him sing, I got no strings to hold me down, and not hear James Spade as Ultron going, "There are no strings
The
on
problem
me."
is because every time we bring up Ultron, you have said it. The minute he started singing, you instantly popped into my head, even before Ultron popped into my head. that's just what it is. Like, it's the real.
Bro, that was such a happy moment for me, man. And it never made it into the movie. They'd made it just for the trailer. Just Ultron had the revelation of him and saying there are no strings on me. Bro, it sent shivers of happiness over my body, that trailer. And I think it is one of the... I don't think people talk about it enough because the movie wasn't as good as the trailer, even though I'll defend that movie till the cows come home. And you've come to appreciate it more too, I've noticed.
Ultron is a very difficult film because it follows the hype of Avengers, and remember, essentially it's Avengers 2, so it needs to match the crash bang wallop, but now everyone's established, so there isn't the intros and everyone coming together, so it's not the same. And then it's the building of the story, and it requires a bit more attention as opposed to just visual noise. That's the thing, but it's great when you do stop and pay attention.
It really is. It really is.
Having done the Disney Plus triathlon with my guy, honestly, it was so funny. I've even got a picture that I need to send to you where she's bought these notepads for a course she was going to go on. One was Superman, one was Spider-Man. I was like, you would have never done that before. Like, I have converted you. But yeah, it was.
You like all that stuff, do you? Do ya? Do ya?
But it was that beauty of really appreciating films that now that you've watched it and been like, oh, whatever, you sit back, you watch it, and you're paying attention, especially because you feel like you may need to explain some bits.
Yeah.
When you've got your focus on, Ultron's freaking good.
Ultron's really good. And I love... The thing I love is just he's born like... He's like the counter opposite to Pinocchio, isn't he? He's like... Pinocchio was born from love, you know. He was born from a wish upon a star and born from pure unadulterated love. Ultron wasn't born from hate. He was born from fear. Yeah. Like, he came into existence by programming the whole world into himself and being like, the world's fucked up. It's
and
like, what?
The other thing.
You are right.
It's love and fear, and it's that the innocence of Pinocchio, who knew nothing, to Ultron, who knew everything.
And knew more than we did how fucked up we were.
Yeah, and it's the results. It's the anti-Pinocchio. It's weird to look at it that way.
He is, though.
It's legitimately that.
He doesn't even call Tony Stark dad at one point.
Yeah.
Literally fucking Iron Man Geppetto.
There's something you never thought you would have heard, but it's a fact.
Francis Lalonde has just picked up a copy of Pinocchio. Hadn't seen it in years. It's so fucking good, Francis.
Honestly, and do you know what? I thank Disney Plus for being Disney Plus, because I'm actually getting a chance to revisit or see for the first time a load of these cartoons. Especially after I watched Pinocchio, I'm like, I need to revisit some of these.
Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules, and Pocahontas are the 3 Disney movies that people do not talk about enough. They are sensationally good.
But it's the earlier stuff I need to revisit, bro. Like, honestly, Jungle Book, I know in and out.
Steamboat Willie.
Pinocchio, Dumbo, I feel like I need to redo. Snow White.
Yeah. Snow White's good.
I feel like I need to redo those.
Cinderella's aged. It's seriously sexist. Like, wow.
You're going to find these issues along the way, sadly. But I just feel like it needs to be done.
Gavin Mann says, I saw a live action film of Pinocchio when I was younger. No idea what year it was made. Maybe 80s or 90s, but it looked like it was done on a budget. I think I know the one you mean.
Slightly think I know as well.
Yep.
Yes, I do know it, actually. Yeah.
Really shit. I know the one you mean. If it's from the 90s, I know exactly the one you mean. Jackie G says, Pinocchio is one of the most traumatic movies of my life. There are some hard scenes there. Again, a movie made for children.
We were exposed to a lot more than this generation of children, I have to be honest. And I think for the better. I could be wrong, but I think for the better.
Gavin Mann with a good question. Does the Pinocchio in Shrek count?
Yeah.
It does now.
Well, yes, no, he does have string. No.
I'm a puppet, I'm a real boy.
Yeah, at which point his nose grew. Yeah. Well, yeah, yep. He's a puppet. Yeah. I toyed with that as well.
I would have accepted it. I would have accepted it.
I
100% would have accepted Pinocchio in Shrek.
Yeah, fuck. It does work. It does work.
You could even argue that the giant gingerbread man is a puppet at the end of Shrek. Shrek 2.
Yes, he is being controlled. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would absolutely listen to that argument.
Yeah, fair play.
Jackie G says Ultron's trailer with Pinocchio horrifying soundtrack. Gold. Kind of wish that song made it into the movie so much. It was gold. That trailer is one of the best trailers I have seen ever. It was so fucking good. And Francis Lon says AJ been slowly picking up the older Disney animated flicks.
Nice.
Jackie G says the Hunchback of Notre Dame is the most underrated Disney movie and follows one of the worst and disgusting villains there is in general. 100% agree with everything you have just said.
I fully agree, because the sad thing about Hunchback of Notre Dame is that it's not a bad movie. It's actually really good. But
it's sensational.
It just follows that trio of awesome that was, I don't know the order, but Lion King,
Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, and Aladdin.
Yeah. And that's the sad thing about it. It's not that I should say it's a lesser movie.
Well, you know what directly followed Aladdin? I believe it was fucking Pocahontas. I'm like, Pocahontas came directly after the Lion King. I'm like, well, you stand no chance.
Do you know the sad truth about that? It is so true that I've still not actually seen Pocahontas. Not to this day.
It's fucking great. It is one of my favorite Disney movies, Pocahontas. It is so good. It is, bro. Every year we get more and more into this whole fucking this racist world we live in. Every year that shit continues. Pocahontas gets better and better.
Do you know the sad thing about Pocahontas? I could be wrong. I could be right. Yeah. As a kid, it just felt too serious. It felt like a serious cartoon. That just wasn't.
It is. Ready. It's very serious.
That was the thing, and I think Hunchback was also in that kind. It had cheerful moments, but that's maybe why it's not spoken about so much. Whereas the others were all singing, all dancing.
They're all dark. Of those three, the lightest between the three I mentioned is Hercules. Hercules is a relatively easy watch.
Yeah.
But no, Hunchback and Pocahontas are pretty dark, man.
Yeah.
Okay, that was on joint number 4. What's your number 3?
Right. We mentioned him. The other guy who had to come up. It's Kermit and Co. I'm talking the original Muppets movie.
Okay.
Why did I go for the Muppets? It goes back because exactly what you said. Jim Henson doing something original. You could go into Christmas Carol. You could go into Treasure Island. Those are retelling of a story. This was the whole madness of how the Muppets came about. How the story. Have you seen it by any chance?
I'm not the biggest Muppets guy. I tried getting into it for this list, and
I'll be honest. I know Sesame Street, even so much so that I was like, "Oh, Sesame Street's Muppets," and then it was like, "Well, the Muppets feature in Sesame Street." Like I was like, it was such a thing that apart from Sesame Street, I didn't really pay attention. Christmas Carol being the one I probably did watch. I remember seeing parts of Treasure Island, and obviously I recognize who Kermit is and Miss Piggy, so it was like the whole thing. But I actually watched it and I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was really cool, and I feel that without, as much as all of these are there, and obviously Pinocchio way surpasses the Muppets. This is the groundwork for most puppetry. Like this is, you can't not mention it. And I found the story fun of how this road trip to Hollywood.
I can imagine when this movie came out, the idea of seeing Kermit riding a bike must have made people go,
It must have been insane. It must have been like
no hand anymore.
Yeah. And that was it. I took it back to the era of when it came out, and I was like, "This is actually pretty smart."
Yeah.
Contrary to you, it actually made me feel like I need to do the rest of the Muppets. I know so much so that we've got Muppets 2011 now. We've got the Haunted House. Like their collection is huge. It could have been top 10 Muppet movies. Like it's that big. But yeah, I enjoyed what came out of it, and they are the lovable faces. They're the recognizable faces. They got their brilliant, man.
Fair enough. As Francis Lalonde, this is what I was saying. Kermit on a bike, drops mic. That must have made people go, "What the fuck?" Jackie G says, "The only puppet movie I can say I like, and it never had a single nightmare. Miss Piggy is my queen." Everyone,
like the whole thing, the whole fruit. I was laughing with it.
Miss Piggy is awesome. Gavin Mann says, I went with Muppet Treasure Island. Billy Connolly, the first and possibly the only person to die in a Muppets film. Beware the one-legged man. They give him the black spot, don't they? So off he goes.
Yeah.
Word 789. I've seen you. I've seen your comment. I'm not going to bring it up just for just for the VOD squad and whatnot. Just because, yes, I agree. We'll get there. Right. So that was your number 3, yeah.
Yep.
My number 3, a movie I've just seen for the first time and has absolutely blown my socks off. Now, I've always accused you of being a hype man. I might be guilty a little bit of, seeing it, having the recent hype about it. I think this movie is fucking brilliant. Mel Gibson in The Beaver.
Oh, nice.
Bro, this film is awesome. It's Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, who also directs the movie and stars in it.
I like Jodie Foster.
Who doesn't? Jodie's awesome. This came out in 2011, so this was a pre-fame Jennifer Lawrence. She's in this. And guess who? He's sadly passed away and left us too young now. Anton Yelchin's in this.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I saw him. I was like, oh, Anton. It always makes me happy when he crops up. That guy had such a fucking career ahead of him. Tragic that we lost him. So here's what The Beaver is about. Mel Gibson owns a toy company, and he is going through a complete manic depressive crisis. Not just depression, manic depression. He's cut himself off from the world. His wife works late because she's trying to convince herself that the world she inhabits isn't hellish and that her husband still loves her, even though he doesn't. His kids disown him. He's completely disattached with the world to the degree where the wife actually says, you need to move out and find yourself again. When he moves out, he tries hanging himself in the bathroom. This is how deeply he's sunk. And he finds in the trash this beaver, this hand puppet. And what this beaver does, and I've asked Anya, who some of you may not know this, Anya is she's a psychotherapist. So I asked her if some of the behavior he was displaying, if it was like real or not. And she's like, no, that's fucking spot on. That's exactly the shit I have to deal with sometimes. So what he does is the beaver becomes his coping mechanism. But he goes so hard into this beaver that it actually overtakes him. So he actually becomes the beaver. And this beaver has an Australian accent. This beaver is hyper confident. This beaver is full of great ideas. This beaver, it's essentially him. It's the good side of him coming out. And it's his coping mechanism. And when he doesn't have it, he reverts back to being his depressive self. So this is literally his therapy. And he uses it as a tool to rediscover himself. It is gut-wrenching, it is sad, but it's also elating and funny. I cannot, for the life of me, recommend this film enough. For a fucking movie...
What's it, Beaver?
The Beaver. For a movie which, at the time, Mel Gibson was on the naughty list, yeah? He's come out of the woods a little, he's still got a bit of a dirty connotation to his name, but he's certainly got his act together since then. 2011, Mel Gibson was a very, very naughty boy, as we all know. This movie has no business being this good. And it is not just good, it is fucking great. And I have a feeling, because Mel Gibson was on Santa's naughty list, no one went to see this. So now, I'm going to fly the flag for this film as often as I can, because The Beaver is fucking great.
No, it caught me. It sounds really good. It sounds very good.
Francis Lance says, haven't seen it, The Beaver. Gavin, man, that cover. Yeah, let me bring up the cover again, because this cover, if you could sum up this movie in a microcosm, yep, that is literally it. A man dealing with absolute sadness in his life. Gavin Mann says, I never thought I'd ask this question on a live YouTube show, but where can I see The Beaver? You'll be happy to hear, Gavin. When a man loves a woman, no, it's available on Amazon Prime.
Oh, nice. Normal Prime, yeah, not these.
Normal Prime. No, but no extra paid. It's normal Prime. And Jackie G says, I'm definitely gonna check The Beaver.
Behave. Nice.
It's brilliant, AJ. That's my bit of edutainment for the week. I cannot recommend it enough.
I'm sold. It's just a timing thing now, but I'm sold.
What is your number 2?
Do you know what? It was a last-minute memory for me on this one. The Gorgonites and the Commando Elite, my friend. Small Soldiers.
Never seen it.
I remember you said this already. This film, I remember, was absolute madness, and it's literally it's the live action Toy Story. It's live action Toy Story based on the fact that the toys are alive. They've created this chip. The Tommy Lee Jones' character is called Chip Hazard, but they've created this chip that makes the toys interactive. They start to react to what have you. Now, the whole thing is that the Commando Elite are meant to be the good guys. They learn and they hunt the Gorgonites, who are. Do you know what? It's as we talk about Pocahontas. It's this or Avatar. Like you've got the very military American, and then you've got the alien-looking, very peaceful, very much like your Native Americans, if you would. They live a very simple life and they just cultivate, and their mission is to learn, whereas the Commando Elite just go out to attack essentially and eliminate the Gorgonites. And it's just this ongoing war. And what happens is this chip has now become more than just a toy. The Commando Elite, which is the army, just go on an all-round havoc, destroying the town. It is nuts. They even overtake. There's a point where they go into the main boy who owns both of the toys. They go into the sister's room and they overtake the Barbies. Kind of like what Sid does, where he makes these evil machines. They've programmed these chips, and it was crazy mad fun.
Any famous voice talent in it or not?
Tommy Lee Jones, I remember, was Chip Hazard. This is also, even though he wasn't voicing one of the toys, the last appearance for Phil Hartman. The guy who's Troy McClure.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the last film he done. After it was released a couple of months later, that's when his wife shot him dead, sadly. R.I.P. to the great. So yeah, that was that. I can't remember anyone else. I can't remember who else is in it, if I'm honest with you. It's been a while. I remember also playing the game. If my brother's still watching, he can profess to how much time we spent playing that PlayStation 1 game. But it was a really fun movie that I enjoyed, that I remember watching and had a great time with. So yeah, I was like, it's a mix of, you'll see the toys and they're all in their motion. It's a mix of CG, mix of blue screen and puppetry. So I had to fact check it for that, but yeah, all kinds of awesome.
Okay, I'll have to check it out one day. I mean, I've got a daughter now.
I don't even know where to find it, to be honest. I don't know where to find it,
bro. You can find all of these old, like, kind of difficult to find, kind of B-range 90s kids movies now on Amazon Prime for like £1.
Yeah,
I'm still a believer in physical media. I'm that guy. I like physical media.
Yeah, that is cool. Like, don't get me wrong.
Oh, you know what I found? The full Flintstones collection on Blu-ray.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was like, well, that's going in the basket.
That's all kinds of cool. Of cool.
Flintstones or Jetsons?
It is more Flintstones. Jetsons look cooler, but I am more Flintstones.
I am more Flintstones too.
I actually had this conversation with my girl the other week. She has never seen an episode of the Jetsons. And I was like, I get it, the Flintstones are cooler, but how
has she lived? Like, what did she do before meeting you? Like,
I kind of wonder sometimes. And it's weird because there are some stuff that I've missed out on, again, like Gremlins 2. And she's like, you don't know any good stuff. And she's like, it was weird. It was just one of these questions.
No. Honey, the difference is I just know stuff.
It was like the worst pull. I know you're going to say it's like the worst pull, but she was like, how have I seen Gremlins? You haven't. And I was like, so what did you think about the ending for Batman Forever? She's just watching me with a death stare, like, huh? What? And I'm like, but there you go. I was watching different shit. Just leave me alone.
Terrible pull, but I'll give it to you because I'm in a very much I love Val Kilmer mode at the moment.
Thank you.
My number 2. One of our favorite films ever. One of the greatest films ever made. The first movie I ever saw in the cinema. Jurassic Park.
Nice.
This was always going to make the list for me, mate.
It was there. It was on the list, and I'm like, I want to put it in. And then, like, I had all these weird findings that came out that I felt like needed to be shared. I'm like, as long as Nick knows it's puppetry, it's going to make the list. So I don't need to worry about Jurassic Park not making the list.
There are certain films where it's like,
Jurassic Park has been drawn for how many times? So I'm comfortable not saying it for once.
Yes, exactly. And we don't have to go into a great big spiel about Jurassic Park, but fuck Phil Vernon. This film's so good. Do you know what? Anya just last night sent me this weird, like, because she's got back on TikTok, because now that she has a baby, she doesn't fucking have time to consume long form content, because every 10 seconds, so she's gone back to watching 1 minute videos. I'm like, do you? She sent me this video of like a guy, one of those pretentious TikTok scientists trying to sound more intelligent than he is. And he was like, did you actually know that dinosaurs are closer to birds? If you look at the T-Rex's arms, it's like an ostrich's arms turned around. I'm like, cool. 1993 just called and it wants their theory back, because Alan Grant literally fucking says, well, maybe we know less about dinosaurs than we did. Maybe dinosaurs are closer to birds than they were to reptiles. Look at the vertebrae turned backwards, just like a bird. And even the name raptor means bird of prey. That's nuts. Looks like sick turkey. Bitch, get back in your box. I will Jurassic Park school you all day long, coming at me with that T-Rex is like a bird. Fuck you. And Alan Grant says, fuck you too, you dumb TikTok wearing motherfucker. Trust me.
Let it out. Yeah.
I just love that film, man. I love it so much. There are so many great moments, from the T-Rex going for the cars, to biting the guy on the toilet, to fucking chasing the cars, and may look closer, maybe closer than they appear, to the raptor hunt in the kitchen, to your favorite, the Dilophosaurus, to the first time you see the Brachiosaurus, and Alan has his freak out. It just the Velociraptor hatching. It's just got so many great fucking moments.
Clever girl.
It's that moment. And everything Alan Grant said at the beginning just comes back to it. What's interesting is that Alan Grant and Muldoon never have that conversation about how the Raptors hunt. This line, that what I love about it is that it's almost a fourth wall breaker, because it's not an interaction the characters have ever had. It's something we've learned from Alan Grant, that they come from the side, right? When he was talking with the kid, we knew something that the Great White Hunter didn't. I've got her. You fucked. Like,
good point. It's
God,
a great
I love
book.
that film.
It's
so good. I need to rewatch it very soon. It is so fucking good.
Still gives me minor chills about just thinking about Jurassic Park. And as I say, it's the one movie that my sister and
You do not like that Dilophosaurus, do you?
No, I was just saying it's the one film that was the first and probably only film I could say I've seen multiple times in the cinema. Multiple times. Like we just seem to be going like every week. Oh, all right.
Did you see they brought back?
Okay, cool.
Did you see the for World Dominion?
No, I haven't actually.
The Dilophosaurus is back.
Oh, fuck.
They brought back the Dilophosaurus. I was like, ah! I saw that. I was like, AJ!
Shit. That was something.
It's a horrible way to go. Like, it's one thing, a fucking like T-Rex eating you while you're on the shitter. Like, that's bad. But the idea of this animal poisoning you so that you become paralyzed, and then it eats you while you are still alive and feeling everything and unable to move. It's just like, oh, shit, man. Like, dinosaurs were fucked up.
Big time. Glad you're extinct. No offense to any.
Yeah, no wonder you're extinct. And that little scream it does, like, oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I might rewatch that tonight in bed. It's so good.
Cool. Good chat. Good chat. I need to do a Jurassic Park marathon one day. Probably.
So this is it. Gavin Mann raises a good point here. Couldn't go with Jurassic Park because I thought it was more animatronics. Jurassic Park had three things. It definitely had animatronics. It had
Sam, I just need to go for 2 seconds. I'll be back. Literally.
What you got to do? So Jurassic Park definitely had some animatronics. It definitely had some CG. There were scenes which were 100% puppetry, though. For instance, the raptor being born out of the egg, you know, when he does that, when he kind of breathes for the first time, all puppets. When they're holding the raptor in their hands, the little baby raptor, all puppets. When the just before the T-Rex attacks and you see those claws go over the fence, that was puppetry. There was a lot of when the foot went down and smushed the water, that, believe it or not, was a puppet. So there are all of these really brilliant little moments where they've used the puppets sparingly throughout the movie so that you don't notice they're puppets, because then it's complemented in literally the next frame by either CG or animatronics. But there's full of puppetry, this movie. Jackie, I see your comment. I'm not going to read that yet. And the 6-foot turkey, you guys know. Oh, and of course, Francis Lan. Hold on to your butts. AJ, your worst.
Okay. So I was watching this film and I stopped partway because I just couldn't get in. You know where I say The Dark Crystal, I know I needed to give another chance. This take on the Muppets just wasn't for me. I feel like it was trying to be, you know, like how if you watch, this is such a reach. You watch The Boys and it's like superheroes aren't all what they're made out to be. This one is like, oh, puppets aren't all what they're made out to be because they have a dark. I just couldn't get into it, and I thought you tried to be gross out, and it just bugged the fuck out of me. Some people may like it. I didn't.
This wasn't the punt, was it?
No.
Oh, nice.
Is Meet the Feebles. Your boy Peter Jackson.
Fuck. This is Jackson.
Peter Jackson. This apparently was his first. He done this. I don't even know what year. I'm sure it's Peter Jackson. They said this was him working with puppetry at one point, and it helped him in his development of Lord of the Rings. And I tried it. It has these gross out moments. Okay, we're talking. It starts off and you see them singing on stage, and they get in for like a national variety show going on. And it's got like the same way the Muppets has its characters, the frog, the pig,
Gonzo Rizzo.
Well, it's got its hippos, it's got its rabbit. The rabbit, there's this fly who flies around shit and is eating shit and just trying to talk to this rabbit who's got a sex addiction and now has got essentially looks like AIDS. This mafia type boss type character. You sound like you're interested and you might find it fun. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, this sounds fucking amazing.
I just watched it, and do you know what it is? I just didn't find myself laughing where I hoped I would have, and it just didn't catch my attention. It just didn't, and that's why I stopped within the last half hour of the film, and that's when I went to watch the Karen Carpenter story instead, and I was like, okay,
the Barbie doll movie.
Yeah. But I at one point I was like, it's 10 because it gave me something that kind of still had my attention, but I didn't find it great, and I wasn't laughing. There was one time I gave a little giggle at a few lines. It was a few times I had a minor giggle, but it just wasn't enough for me. It was just missing a beat, and that's where it became my worst.
I mean, fair enough. It's absolutely sounds amazing. I need to see this film.
Do you know what you may do? Like, it's weird. It had all these subplots and gave each character a little background. Possibly, I think you might actually like it. I'm not sure, but there were some parts I was just like,
it sounds quite me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I was just like,
it's talking to me about a fly flying around and a rabbit with HIV. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm sold.
It's weird though. It's weird.
I like a bit of weird, mate.
I'm aware.
I like hippopotamus, remember?
I know. I know.
So, okay, my worst. I was really sad about putting this on my worst because I saw this movie years and years and years ago, remembered really liking it, but it was vague. So I was like, okay, I need to actually go and watch it. Bro, do you know what the problem with it is that while the puppet in it is highly memorable, the rest of the film's not. And it makes me really sad because it's got Rick Moranis in it. Little Shop of Horrors.
Bro, if I'm honest with you, Suddenly Seymour is a song that my girl knows and loves, right? And she was like, "Oh, is it from that film?" And we started to watch. And I'm like, "Oh, you've never seen Little Shop of Horrors?" We put it on. Neither of us could get into it. This was ages ago. I can't remember what it was for. And we were watching it, and it just, again, I always feel like it's a focus thing. And I kind of like Dark Crystal because of the fun memories, as opposed to Dark Crystal. I had so much fun memories of this film. I'm like, it can't be bad. But I don't think I've ever watched it from beginning to end. It was one of those that I actually did accept watching partway through and just always watched it that way. Kind of like 30 Rotten Scoundrels last week.
Yeah.
I always got it one way. And I tried to get into it, and I was just like, it's just not giving it to me.
This is where I was. I think Audrey too is an amazing puppet. Amazing puppet.
Yeah.
But the movie, like, it was so fucking run of the mill. It was so like predictable. It was, I mean, I don't know what fucking depth I'm looking for in a puppet movie ultimately, but I'm with you. It didn't resonate with me. And I was like, it's certainly not terrible. It certainly doesn't sound like the HIV part I just described. Listen, that could either be fucking sensationally good or terrible. There's nothing that this movie should have been terrible for. Like, it's got Rick Moranis, it's got John Candy, it's got a fucking Venus flytrap that happens to be a human flytrap that sings "Feed Me."
Yeah,
but I couldn't get into it.
It's been forever.
The only thing that made me go, holy shit, Audrey is the lady that Rick Moranis has the hots for. It's the mum that gets shot in
It's the what?
The mum that gets shot at the beginning of Leon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I saw her. I was like, I know this face.
Yeah.
IMDb. Hey, Matilda's mother.
Okay. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
It's a painful one to put in there, but I get it. It's fun memories, but in trying to rewatch, I couldn't do it. So I get it.
Yeah. Bingo, same here. And Gavin Mann's like, I remembered Rick Moranis being good. It was Rick Moranis is always fucking good in everything. Rick Moranis was good in the Flintstones, for fuck's sake. He was not the problem with the film. The way this film went down, the storytelling was terrible, and the way the musical numbers just did not hit for me.
No, I can't dispute. I would had it been that I had not tried to do a rewatch not too long ago, I'd have been like, no, you're wrong. It's all kind of cool. Having tried to do a rewatch, I'm on board, and it hurts. It's that I don't. It's weird when you have a hurtful worst. Sometimes I prefer not to do a worst in that kind of situation. This one
really
is awkward because I'm like, yeah, it just didn't resonate at all. So
that's it.
Yeah.
Well, we know what your number one is. It's the punt. Only one punt this week. Very interesting. Because you decided to go fucking left field art house on me. Go on.
Hey, excuse me more.
Mr. BFI.
There you go. So Team America World Police.
Fuck yeah.
Now
I am so happy that you've now seen this.
I remember like puppets, and I was like, Thunderbirds is a given, Pinocchio is a given. I'm gonna have to fucking watch Team America. And I was like,
you loved it.
I thought this thing, I was like, automatic worse. This is where we're going. Like, everywhere's listed Team America, and I was like, I'm not going to enjoy this. One thing that happened first, I saw a puppet controlling a puppet, and I was like, okay, that's meta. I love this. Yes. Right? The films, from there onwards, I saw the French kid, and I was like, oh, is he going to join the World Police? No, he didn't, and it didn't matter, because I have not laughed that much in forever. I was dying. I watched it, and I got to a point in this film, and I was like, this is my number one. I don't actually care what comes next. You're going to have to climb mountains to take out this film. And I was so shocked. And again, I while putting this in at number one.
Makes me so happy. Carry on.
While putting this in at number one and knowing it's going to be number one and really hoping something's going to outdo it, all I can hear are, you're going to be like, you know, these are the guys who write South Park, right? You know, you need to give South Park another shot, right? I'm like, he's gonna give me all of this stick, but I don't actually give a shit because even though it is so wrong. Now, there were some parts I found stupid, and I was like, "Oh, here we go." And a bit tasteless because, like, we're in a new era.
Like what? You mean Darka Darka Muhammad Jihad?
But even it's when they started singing the songs, and it was just like Jihad and Muhammad, and I was like, "They're taking the piss, but this is fucking nuts." I was like, "This is so wrong," but it's the comedy that I'm used to.
Calling the Screen Actors Guild fag instead of SAG. That broke me.
And in a way, again,
Michael Moore as the left-wing terrorist.
All of it. But even when it came to fag, and it was wrong because in a way, like we have become more sensitive, and you know we're more.
But that's why South Park's great. You
need
this outlet.
It's like, you know, when they're like you're watching this bit, but no, this is the goal. It's where you're like, in the future, people will be saying, "Thank you, fag. We appreciate you, fag." And I was like, well, we've come to a point where we accept and we regret some of the stuff we used to say towards homosexuals. And I'm like, I shouldn't be saying they're right, but I'm laughing and I'm like, well, we have been a bit more open, and we don't use that word for homosexuals, but I know what they're trying to say. And I'm like, this is so wrong. And then the whole, because I've heard everyone talk about this, everybody has AIDS, and I'm like, this is cold. I will not laugh at this until they start doing the gays, the straights, the blacks, the whites, and it's like everybody's. And I was like, for fuck's sake, I'm laughing at this too. And then, do you know what it was as well? It's all the, you know, like we're talking about how the songs didn't resonate with you in Little Shop of Horrors. It's all of these fucking songs that they've created, like the country theme while he's there, and the other one, Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor was a shit movie, but it reminds me, and I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to? But I'm cracking up. Like, there was not a song, and then that whole America, fuck yeah, and then when the whole team
coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah,
and it's like America, fuck yeah. I'm like, how have they done this and have me laughing like that? I was like, no, I don't want it to be number one, but you have no choice but to be my number one. Like, hands down, fuck yeah. This is not the last time I am watching Team America.
Fuck yeah. Music to my ears. Are we going to talk about the puppet sex scene?
Well, here we go. And I haven't watched it. I didn't watch it, so we'll leave it there.
What, the sex scene?
The puppet sex scene, yeah. No, I've watched that. But while trying to find all of these puppets, did you know there is actually puppet porn?
Of course.
Yeah, I didn't know like there was a film called...
It's a thing, apparently.
What is it? There was one film called The Puppet in Me and another one. So, like, once I heard about these stuff, I was like, the puppet porn from Team America means nothing now. There was a bit of a jizz scene in Happy Time Murders, which is fucking hilarious, by the way.
I've seen the jizz scene in the trailer.
But so that's why. But even that, I was like, what? Because I hadn't heard about the puppet porn before this. When I was watching this, I was like, they're taking the piss. They're taking the piss. And because it is such a rip on Thunderbirds, like, again, I wanted Thunderbirds to be number one. And I was like, you've outdone it. And the sad thing is I saw this first. Out of all the other movies. And I'm like, something will outdo it. No, I saw Pinocchio, rewatched Pinocchio, then I watched it. And I was like, no, Thunderbirds. No. You're going to rip Thunderbirds. I'm going to wave that fucking flag for Thunderbirds. And Thunderbirds just felt so tame, mild, and boring. No. Fuck yeah, Team America. Yeah.
What was it Winston Churchill said? Never in the field of battle has so much been given by so many, has so much been given for so many by so few. This is like that. Never in the field of podcasting has so much joy been received by so many, by one man. I have been telling you, I cannot tell you how fucking happy I am to see you finally put something from Trey Parker and Matt Stone at number one. My question now is, you know what's coming? Are you going to give South Park a chance?
Listen, remember this, yeah?
It's the same comedy.
I can quote the fact that I sat back on South Park, and maybe it's the animation that always turned me off. I can go back to the fact that I watched the episode with Kyle's Jewish cousin Kyle and was in absolute stitches and
Well,
tears
we need
in
to
my
send
eyes.
him to we need to send him to concentration camp because he has to concentrate harder.
Yeah, do you find that cousin Carl has a concentration issue? Do you think we should send him to concentration camp? Like, oh my god, this is wrong. This is wrong. Again, guys, I am not anti-Semitic. I'm my girlfriend. You can ask her. Like 3 years strong, right? But the jokes that came out, I was like, oh my god.
Bro, especially the last 5 to 7 seasons of South Park, because that what they do now is that back then they had to kind of come up with their own unique stories. But what South Park has evolved into is very, very up-to-date political satire comedy. So, I mean, I referenced this in my Dumbledore review. I referenced the member berries. That was an episode they did. Literally, it released, I think, a few weeks before Star Wars Episode 7 came out. And it was, do you remember at that sort of time when the Episode 7 trailers had dropped and the world was, before the Star Wars fans decided to become a toxic bunch of cunts, there was this unity of, oh my God, Star Wars is coming back and we are all so happy, right? And the world was going nuts, and everyone was like, oh, remember this, Star Wars is back. They did an episode taking the piss out of how the people were losing their mind over nostalgia without actually having absorbed anything. Hence, the member berries were born. Oh, remember Wookiees, I remember Yoda, remember, you know, you would love South Park now, bro. It is, if you like Team America, it is this type of comedy. Also, if you like America, I'm taking you to see the Book of Mormon.
I need to see it. I want to see it. Me and Tam are talking about going to the theatre. My Fair Lady's more what she's looking for. But Book of Mormon, I'm not going to lie. There are two things that are very high on my list in terms of seeing in the theatre. And it's
Liz?
Book of Mormon. I've seen them.
Wicked. Okay.
Yeah, I really want to see Wicked. Yeah. Les Mis, I've seen it.
Wow, Gavin Mann pulling my favorite South Park episode, Make Love Not Warcraft. That is big South Park. And then live to win till you die. Yes, Gavin. My God. Bro, AJ, you have got to check South Park out.
Is it on Disney Plus? Was it a Fox show? Why do I think Bigger, Badder, and Uncut is on Disney Plus?
American Dad and Family Guy are.
Yeah,
South
I know
Park,
they are.
South Park's Paramount, mate.
Yeah, why did I think I saw a bit? Anyway, I don't know.
You've got literally every season of South Park is on Netflix now.
Oh, okay. I'll see.
Please give it a try. Please.
I mean, we do run this pod, which takes up a lot of time, but I might sacrifice some L for some South Park because My Name Is Earl is like my. I do a bit of 2K22. Followed by a bit of My Name Is Earl. So
Francis, you did not just bring up Lemmy Winks the hamster. Wow. And what was that Paris Hilton episode called? Stupid Spoiled Whore.
Oh, that's deep.
And so on this episode, it's when Paris's sex tape came out, and the toy company made a toy for girls called Stupid Spoiled Whore Video Playset. They did a commercial for it, showing kids how to use it, and it was basically teaching girls to make their own little home porno movies. And the song went, Stupid Spoiled Whore Video Playset, show the whole world what a slut you are.
All right. We'll see. Like, I'm not promising the world that I'm going to be like 12 episodes deep. Like I've started The Office. I'm enjoying it. But I'm just
I am the cuttlefish. Fucking Lemmy Winks the hamster and Mr. Slave, who is Mr. Slave is the gay love partner of Mr. Garrison. Lemmy Winks ventures inside Mr. Slave, and the whole episode takes place inside Mr. Slave's rectum.
See, these are the parts where I'm like, I don't know if you're going to convince me to watch these, but I'm open-minded.
You've seen Durka Durka, Muhammad Jihad, and Fag, and laughed. You have nowhere to run anymore.
I know. We shall see. But yes, Team America won it for me.
Guys, while we are doing, just before we go on to my number one, which I imagine everyone's already guessed, could you please start dropping your Rushmores into the comment section and I'll begin starring them. So AJ, obviously, I think I don't want this to be a Rushmore of copy and paste of all movies we've done before. I'm not going to fight hard for Jurassic Park to be in the Rushmore. Equally, I'm not going to fight hard for this one to be in the Rushmore because it will win fucking everything. A puppet who is more famous than Yoda, a puppet who is more famous than Kermit, more famous than the Velociraptors, the most famous puppet ever, Master Yoda, The Empire Strikes Back. Obviously.
Listen, Yoda, I'd be a fool to have not thought of Yoda. It would not be a thing. It was a given, and there was no space for Star Wars. Given how many times it's been brought up, what is there, and the chance to bring up films that have not been otherwise said or won't get a chance to be brought up, like this is why certain films didn't make the list for me, and others did.
That's fair. That's fair. And you are definitely the better dude between the two of us this week for leaving off Jurassic Park and Star Wars. I am the cheap plug man. Fair play. You've entertained the fuck out of me and the silver screen dudes in the chat tonight. Also, people in the VOD squad watching afterwards, hashtag VOD squad down in the comment section down below, please. Respect AJ's
memorabilia is going to be VOD squad or Pod squad. I'd like to know which ones they knew about of those three that I just randomly pulled out.
Mixed memorabilia, especially, right. Yeah. So, what more can we say about fucking Yoda? The guy who takes Luke on from Obi-Wan, trains him, teaches him size is not important, teaches him to believe, essentially. I mean, the big important scene is when they're trying to raise the crashed X-Wing out of the water. I can't believe you did that. That is why you fail. He's brilliant. He is a brilliant
Yoda is beyond Star Wars. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird because Star Wars is the characters of Star Wars are beyond Star Wars. You don't have to appreciate the film to know the characters, whether it's
correct,
whether it's Vader. But Yoda is also that one. You can say Yoda, and people know to say words backwards because of Yoda without having seen a Star Wars movie. It's just who he is, you know. Like you could say Kermit. Kermit's voice isn't even a thing now. Kermit's more of a meme sipping tea, and people say that's none of my business. Not in a disrespectful way. It just is what it is. I mean, equally, but Yoda is slightly second to Baby Yoda nowadays. I can't remember his real name. I don't
Grogu.
Yeah. But it's you can't dispute the fact of who Yoda is. Would I say? I don't know. I wouldn't say
he is the goat of the puppet.
I don't know. It's the biggest.
Who's bigger?
Again, you say Kermit. I wonder.
Kermit's not bigger than Yoda. I don't even know how you're questioning this. I think you're just trying to be contrarian here. There's no way.
No. I'm legit just being like, in a world of, if you ever say puppet or something along that line, what jumps to your head is you instantly think the Muppets. You're going to think Elmo. You're going to think that. And then you'll be like, oh yeah, Yoda's actually a puppet.
And then when you come to the realization that Yoda's actually a puppet, you also come to the realization that he's the goat.
Interesting fact. I don't know.
I'll work for you now. I'm doing no harm. I can't do a proper Yoda. My throat hurts today. As I said, I lost it at the stadium a few days ago. Cool. Okay, guys. So that's our top 10.
Yeah. So guys, let's have we got some comments in? Have we got some top 10s here? Let's have a look-see.
Let's have a look at the starred messages. Let me jump in here. So from Jackie G, my non-traumatic Rushmore, Gremlins, Saw, Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, Jurassic Park. Is a good Rushmore. Yeah, Gavin Mann says we've got a top 10. Brigsby Bear, Dogma, The Sixth Sense, Life of Brian, Return to Oz, Christine, Toy Story, Hellboy, Team America, Empire Strikes Back. And Francis Lalonde is pitching a Rushmore, Gremlins, Team America, Dark Crystal. I agree with all of those. Gremlins, Team America, and Dark Crystal. I absolutely agree with all of those.
I have no beef with those. What were those again? Gremlins, Team America, Dark Crystal. I know Dark Crystal's huge.
I'd put Saw in there because I think people are going to see that and go, "Oh yeah."
I mean, it just on basic principle. Does it sound weird to talk about a puppet and
not have Pinocchio?
Now, when we're talking the goat, that probably is the goat of puppets.
So here's what I'd do. I would maybe put Pinocchio in, but take out Gremlins instead of Saw, or leave Gremlins in.
I would leave Gremlins.
Not include Saw, yeah?
It's just who they are, innit? Let's be real. Like Saw's big,
Fair
but
enough.
it's more the
fair
murder
enough.
than Jigsaw, whereas Gremlins is the Gremlins. It's
I think we've got our Rushmore then, don't we?
yeah. Thank you, Francis.
That was very easy. Cool. So yeah, no Star Wars, no Jurassic Park this week. And ready to rock and roll there, Jay? Wait, a few more comments have come in here. Tucky is suggesting Rushmore, Jurassic Park, Aliens, E.T., Polar Express. Hey, I'm surprised neither of us mentioned E.T. in the end.
Do you know what? It's weird because he was meant to be like it was on the list and it just didn't come through. And again, E.T. is something I do need to rewatch. I remember you saying,
Meh,
and
whatever.
Polar Express has not been seen by me, if I'm honest.
No, nor me. Gavin Mann's leaning more towards having Team America, Saw, Gremlins, and Dark Crystal. No Pinocchio.
It seems weird to not put Pinocchio. I'm not gonna lie. I can't put the battle in, but it's like the original.
Do you feel there will be a bit of backlash online going, yeah, he's a puppet character, but it's not an actual puppet because it's an animation?
Yeah, but it's movies with a puppet. He is a puppet.
I agree.
I agree. It's who he is. There's no breaking down to it. Even to the point where no, it's just who he is. He starts off as a puppet. His dad is physically moving him with the ropes. You can't tell me anything else. Okay, the rest of the story, he walks around without the strings, but he fucking starts off with
some putz is going to come on and go, actually, I think you'll find he's a marionette. It's like, you know that marionette. Well, you know what my answer will be to that. Marionette is an anglicized word from French marionnette, which is the translation of puppet. So, shh.
Exactly.
Cool. So we've got our Rushmore. Let's bash that out. And then what I'm going to do, guys, stay in because I'm going to ask all of you guys. We're going to pitch some topics to you for next week. And you guys can decide what you want to see. If you're cool with that, AJ.
Yeah. I will just put a slight vote to guys. Please go that way, but I'll let them vote. Hey, if I could do 10 movies, if I could do 10 puppet movies, I'm sure I could do.
I was going to say,
mind you, I do it all the time. So what the fuck am I moaning about? I just like to have like 2 reaches. That's all I like. Just give me 2 reaches, guys. Anyway, let's go.
Ladies, this is going to sound either very good or very bad. Ladies and gentlemen, the official movie Mount Rushmore of movies with a puppet, in no particular order, is
Pinocchio.
Our second entry is
Gremlins.
Our third entry. Oh, that was good. Our third entry is
Team America. Fuck yeah. Sorry.
Our final entry into the movie Mount Rushmore of puppet movies is
Dark Crystal.
Here's me sounding like Tobin Bell from Jigsaw. I want to play a game. That was good too. I need to record that.
Okay, guys. So again, just for a while, it's at Movie MT Rushmore. That's the only place you'll be able to cast a vote. Just for a while. Yeah, our boy JT's on the come up. But so please just head on over to at Movie MT Rushmore. The 4 films are there. You only get 1 vote unless you have multiple Twitter accounts, in which case we can't control that. And next week the winner will be announced, just like.
Also, for those of you in the live squad who do follow us on Twitter, just so we can try and get the numbers up, Francis, Jackie, Tucky, Frank, all of you guys. Sorry to anyone who I haven't mentioned. Ali, if you're watching, Tien, if you're on Twitter, guys, reshare onto your Twitter feeds. Let's get those poll numbers up. So yeah, I'll get that post up tomorrow, first thing, and then I'll comment all of you guys in, and you can get voting and whatnot. Right. So next week's topic, as Francis has been asking. So, I mean, straight away, Jackie's like, are you guys doing a Nick Cage thing?
The film is literally out in like 4 days, isn't it?
Yes.
3 days.
Yes. Is this
I
Friday?
don't have a beef with Nick Cage. I just feel like I'm going to do him in Injustice. That's the problem. but this is twice it's been asked. So I know you want to put it out to everyone to vote, which I'm down for, and I may lean to something else. However, oh man.
However, you sounded.
Oh,
However, whatever.
I'm
You sounded like one of those 14-year-old girls who goes to MPW. Whatever.
Am I bothered though?
Is it? Am I bothered? How's this for an idea? Oh, I've got a good idea for you here, AJ. Work with me on this. Live chat, tell me what you think. The movie which Nick Cage stars in, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, is about his career petering off, going off the boil, right? Given that Jackie has now asked us a number of times to do this Nick Cage thing, I'm not going to have time in the course of 1 week to do Nick Cage movies properly. So here's what I propose. We take the theme of his coming movie, make that the top 10, work with me. And then the week after, we do Nick Cage. Reason being is that the theme doesn't require much studying on our part.
No, I'm down with that. But what are we saying? The films that skyrocketed someone's career?
Was quite the opposite. Top 10 actors' careers that fizzled out.
Oh,
we talked about it last week
or something.
I'm down. List. And then that way we can do Nick Cage the following week. I mean, we have a load of movies here, but I appreciate that there's quite a high demand for Nick Cage at the moment.
Okay. Let's do that. And then in 2 weeks' time, guys, keep that list that you had. We'll put the public vote out because I feel like we set them up just to knock them down. So you guys will get your live vote, your Taboo Tuesday. That's a WWE still right there. You will have your Taboo Tuesday where you get to vote for the topic. However, I think we've got 2 weeks out there. Actually, do you want to run it out there now so it gives us a bit of time to potentially prepare in advance?
Oh, what? The films, the top 10s that I was thinking of, top 10 movies that break the fourth wall.
Okay.
I was thinking top 10 jungle movies.
Wicked. Sorry, different jungle.
Jungle is massive. Think I don't know this, man. Top 10 jungle movies. I was thinking top 10 satisfying movie endings, actor injuries you actually see in the movie. I was thinking this one I'm really looking forward to doing. Top 10 movies about the moon.
I was going to bring that up because I have it on the list of stuff that you had in your list. Or in our list, should I say? But I remember you.
Top 10 movies that scored 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Top 10 movies that scored 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's a bit of time though. Especially the 0%. That's going to be fucking torture.
Jackie G says top 10 jungle movies. They all star the Rocket Stew. He's got at least 3. That's true. Jungle movies. Predator. Done. Yes. It's a contender. Most definitely. So should we do top 10 acting careers that fizzled out, followed by Nick Cage?
Cool. I'm down with that. And guys, you got more than a week.
Do not fucking put Con Air as your number 1 or I will never hear the end of it.
For that purpose alone, I may do it.
No, but you mustn't
not have said that. No, but I've told you, I've got a sealed number 1 already. It may be my number 2, but there's a goddamn sealed number 1.
My boy going Matchstick Men, you know.
Irrelevant of what the public may have said. It's a spoiler. I don't give a shit. I may not fight for it to be on the Rushmore because it got fucked. However, it is what it is.
Matchstick Men is your number 1. Okay.
I'm not even going to change it. It would take a lot. I'm not saying I've seen a lot of Nick Cage films. I'm not saying I've seen all. I'm not saying I've seen a little. I've seen a fair few. That is my favorite. It will take a lot to change it.
It will change.
Possibly. I'm not. Listen, as much as I've got 2 weeks, I can't promise people I'm going to watch 140 Nick Cage movies. It's just what it is. Like, it just takes the break off just a bit, guys. It's still very hard. Like, if I said, "How's your Meryl Streep list going?" I know you're like, shh. It's difficult. Yeah, these are tough. So, all right, I'm down. I'm not promising. It may change, it may not. But Matchstick Men is still my Nick Cage movie.
Looks like I'm rewatching Con Air tomorrow with the wife.
There we go.
She'll be like, "Yay, Con Air, my favorite movie! Oh my god!" That's not how my wife sounds.
To be fair, put Con Air in at number 1, otherwise you won't hear the end of it.
He has a point. He has a point. I think Con Air, based on my relationship with her and her relationship with Con Air, I think Con Air has to take up all the spots.
In at number 10, Con Air.
Now, I know you think you heard a lot of the spots. Let me just say it again. All the spots.
Are you brave enough to put it in as worst as well?
But it's not. Legitimately, it's not. Legitimately, it's not. He's done so much worse. I actually like Con Air. I just think
I know. I'm taking it.
Con Air, I really enjoy.
I great fun with
she just like Anya's like, it's the best thing ever. I'm like, I've shown you Independence Day.
And I'll say it again. What most people probably don't like from Nick Cage, and they call that cheesy dumb shit, I've actually had good fun with it. So yeah. I'm guessing a lot of people are going to be like, oh my god, that should be on the top 10 worst. It will probably be on my list.
Gone in 60 Seconds is 100% on there.
I enjoy Face Off.
Yes, Face Off's fucking great. Who hates Face Off?
I've heard a lot of it.
Oh, bring him. I'll have such fun.
I can't remember who. But anyway, we're like spoiling the list.
Literally, right?
Okay. So anyway, guys, thank you so much once again. At Movie MT Rushmore, I'm going to be even cheekier than Nick for 1 week only. I beg you that once you've retweeted, do you mind pinning it as well? Just so people who visit your page see it. You don't have to if you don't mind. If you don't mind, you know.
My man's asking for the pin too.
Yeah,
wow.
For the pin, because it's not like I've asked you to buy me a coffee, but I'm just saying, just pin it just for 1 week.
Also, go over to buymeacoffee.com/movie dudes, and the link for that is in the description below. If you've enjoyed this 2.5-hour show and you like the content that we try and deliver to you each and every week, you can, for literally less than the price of your daily Starbucks, show support to the channel. It actually does help, and all we're doing is we're not putting it in our pocket. It's sitting there being saved. You can actually, on the Buy Me a Coffee, our profile page, you can see the money racking up. When we get to a certain amount, we are going to invest in a new streaming software, which is going to make all of this even better.
Even though we love your streaming, I'd say if you want to give us sponsorship, then we don't have to pay the monthly. Anyway, I'm not getting into it. Whichever way it goes, it goes. But yeah, that's the one. And again, guys, you guys are the live squad. If you're on the VOD squad, but both of you, VOD or live, let's create the pod squad because this is where it all started. Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, TuneIn, Stitcher, GeoSavin, and again, you know the name, Movie Mount Rushmore. So, guys, thank you very, very much. As always, even if you don't do anything else, you have been here, and this is what we appreciate from you guys. Yeah, live long and prosper. So, until the next time, I am the one, AJ Anthony Jordan.
I'm Nico Lurot. Thank you, everyone who came and joined us, and I can't wait to see you all next week. See ya.
See ya.